and welcome to the corner of 20th and Blake as we get set for Rockies baseball. Colorado continuing their 4-game series against the Dodgers. This would be game 3. Rockies taking the first 2 games as the offense has certainly found their stride. Welcome inside Coors Field. I'm Tom Helmer. Jim Tracy said after last night's game he would give Todd Helton the day off, and Todd Helton is getting today off, but it has changed how the Rockies look 1 through 3 in the lineup. With more on that, turn it over to Mark Stout. Mark.
Indeed, Tom, a bit of an effect on the lineup. You'll look at the top 3 hitters here with Gonzalez, Young, and Wright, and then Giambi. Chris Nelson has moved down in the lineup. And I asked Jim Tracy if it was a difficult decision to keep Carlos Gonzalez as the leadoff hitter.
Thought about possibly putting him in the 3 spot today, but I got off of the thought, feeling very strongly that a little bit more time in the area where I have him right now, obviously at leadoff, would be a lot more conducive for him and the club if I stayed there and didn't venture into, okay, you know, a day in the 3 spot and then Todd tomorrow is back in action and then fire him back up in the leadoff spot. I don't want to do that to Cargo.
Let's bring in the guys calling the game tonight. That's Drew Goodman and Jeff Houston. And I know, guys, we run through the lineup in our minds. Is this the lineup that you expected to see this evening?
Yeah, it's funny. Jeff and I were talking about it after the ball game last night. And I agree with what Jim Tracy's doing, because if you move Cargo to the 3-hole, Todd has been so good right now in the 3-hole, and obviously Cargo's going very well at the top of the order. You're going to change it again tomorrow. Keep it as consistent as you can today with Helton out of there.
Well, especially with Cargo hitting over 400 now in the leadoff spot. So to me, just stay with him. He's in a comfort zone now. He had 4 hits last night. Don't mess with that, because we've been trying to fight with him all season long as far as getting his average up there. But it's very nice for Jim Tracy to be able to slide a guy in like Giambi, who has about 6,800 some at bats at the big league level, and to be able to slide him into a spot that he has felt comfortable in. He's hit there a number of times, and it's an easy then transition when you go back to the lineup tomorrow. You put Cargo in the number 1 spot, Todd Helton in the number 3 spot, leave Troy where he's at, because if you start doing too much, they're going to start getting out of their comfort zone, and they're not going to like it. The offense is kind of rolling right now.
And that's why it makes additional sense. If the Rockies had lost 2 of their last 3 and were still struggling offensively, you say, okay, right, might as well shake it up again. But that's not the case. The Rockies have been pounding the baseball the last 3 days, so keep it as close to what you've seen as possible. When we come back, we'll talk about Jason Hamill. That'll be next. 7-inch Jason Hamill on the left. Those two work out together in the offseason because they both live in Rhode Island. Of course, Hamill's originally from the Pacific Northwest. Back upstairs with Jeff Hewson, I'm Drew Goodman. Jason Hamill in his last outing in San Francisco was terrific. 2 starts ago against the Dodgers, not so terrific.
No, it wasn't. It was probably his worst start this year. The start against San Francisco, very good. I know he has not won since April 30th, but in those 7 games, 3 times he's gotten a no decision and only given up 3 earned runs. So sometimes you have control over wins and losses, other times you don't. All Jason could do tonight is go out there and try to pitch a brilliant ball game because he wants to take that bad taste out of what happened out in L.A. Get it out of your mouth because you're going to face the Dodgers again. They're in your division. Just put that to bed. Think about your last start against the Giants, how well you pitched there. Use that tonight when you hit the hill.
Jason Hamill's pitched very well, saved that Dodger outing all year long. You saw the ERA, it's beneath 4. They just haven't scored runs for him. That's been changing lately. Rockies trying to make it 4 straight. Colorado and Los Angeles, come on back to Coors Field with us. His first week in the big leagues. And here's the rest of Don Mattingly's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Jamie Carroll, his first start in the series. He has good numbers against Mr. Hamill. And then it'll be easier. Matt Kemp's back in there. Loney, Barajas, Miles, and Gwynn. And the first pitch of the ball game is a tad bit high. Gordon had squared around a bunny, pulled it back, so it's 1-0. And he tried to bunt there. It's 1-1.
We'll take a look at Jason Hamill's numbers on the year. 258 batting average. Lefty's hitting 237 off of Jason. 101st career start. 150th game overall at the big league level.
He stabbed at that. That was not a good idea. That looked like a guy trying to sacrifice. And it's 1-2. One thing we've learned about D. Gordon, he'll get the ball in play, but he can't get overmatched by a fastball 92, 93 and above. And Hamill will throw 93 to 95. That one at 94.
I always tell people when they're talking about bunting for base hits, just like a swing, you can't put a good swing on a bad pitch. Well, you can't bunt on a bad pitch either.
Well, you can.
Well, I mean,
you're probably not going to be successful, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the way I should have clarified it even more.
No, I was just giving you a hard time.
Thank you.
2 balls, 2 strikes on D. Gordon. He's come up and he's made an impact. On the ground to third. And Wigginton getting rid of it in a hurry. And even that, I mean, that was a two-hopper, hit with some authority. Wigginton caught it, threw it, and it was still a one-step play at first base.
He didn't quite move back all the way into a normal fielding position just because of the speed.
Blackman's in left field, Cargo at center, and Eric Young Jr. is getting a start in right field. Wigginton, Tulowitzki, Nelson, and Giambi in the infield. Ionetta has the gear on. One out, and that'll bring up Jamie Caro, who is 5 for 8 lifetime against Jason Hamill. What a gorgeous evening. There were some showers moving through in the middle of the afternoon, but it's 79 degrees and cloudless right now over 20th and Blake. One of my all-time favorite players, Jamie Carroll, with a .303 average. He just plays the game the right way.
He's second on the Dodgers in runs scored with 32.
And the 1-0 is fisted toward Chris Nelson. 2 outs.
Well, that's how you're going to have to do this whole evening. Get those top 2 guys out before you have to face Andre Ethier or Matt Kemp.
Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 for your Rockies Tacos special. Ethier at 3:30 will step up. 2 outs and nobody on, just underway at Coors Field. And this ball is fouled straight back underneath our broadcast position.
That 330 average is 4th best in the National League.
He was 0 for 3 in a walk yesterday, hitting .370 on this extended road trip for the Dodgers. And that's sharply hit, the base knocked to right. And Young's going to have to move quickly because one area that he's deficient in, especially playing right field, is arm strength. So you're going to see on a base hit with a runner at first, you're going to see the Dodgers try to go first to third clearly, and even a below average runner on a base hit to right in scoring position will try to score in all likelihood.
But that's why it's imperative for him to hit the cutoff man, because you can't try to airmail it, get it all the way over there, and then allow the trail runner to take an extra base on you.
So here's Matt Kemp, who kept his consecutive game streak alive with a pinch hitting appearance in the 9th. And it was not a token appearance, as we learned. He hit this ball up on the concourse against Matt Belau. And then about 10 minutes later, the Dodgers were still up there, and the Rockies had to hold on for a 6-5 win when they entered the 9th inning, leading 6-0. Good idea there. After throwing the slider, he busts him in 1-1. Now, Kemp was out early, working on that hamstring. And see if you can bound like that.
I think you're okay to be in the lineup.
I think you're okay to be in the lineup. Nope, I don't feel it.
Well, that's what they were checking out before they even made their lineup out today. Mattingly wanted to make sure that his big guy was ready to go.
Pulled foul, and it's 1-2.
Even the foul balls he hits sound loud.
Sound like a M80 going off. Out of Oklahoma City. He was recruited by the University of Oklahoma to play basketball. He's a marvelous athlete. And he's putting it all together here in the first half. 3rd in the league in average, 1st in home runs, 2nd in RBIs, 1st in slugging percentage at .634. Swung on and missed. Jason Hamill with high heat at 94 strikes out Matt Kemp with Andre Ethier at first. Nice start for Hamill. This is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Fusion with quality power and economy, we speak value. Ford Fusion, drive one. By the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Well, the Rockies on a pretty Saturday night trying to get a quick jump on Ted Lilly and the Dodgers. Carlos Gonzalez 9 for his last 18 will begin things for Colorado. And they have really struggled to score in the first inning over the last 3 weeks. Just twice in the last 20 games have they managed a first inning run. Cargo takes strike one. DJ Rayburn's the home plate umpire. Cargo last night a 4-hit ball game. And Thursday night in the opening game of this series he had 3 hits. Got the average to 268. And on the ground to third. Aaron Miles is there, the former second baseman. He'll still play there. Makes the play, 1 out. Here's the Southwest batting order for the Rockies. Jim Tracy has EY batting second in right field. Then Giambi, Tulowitzki, and Wigginton. Chris Nelson, who's been batting in the 2-hole, will move to 6 tonight. Blackman, Ionetta, and Hamill, the bottom third of the lineup. For whatever reason, and I should say for whatever reason, because Ted Lilly's been a very, very good pitcher for a long time in the big leagues, but the Rockies really struggle against him.
Yeah, his last 8 ball games against the Rockies, 6-1 with the 3.62 ERA. And to further that point, he's not overpowering. He's not like a Clayton Kershaw or maybe a Jonathan Sanchez, Madison Baumgartner. His fastball is going to sit about 86 to 89 miles an hour all night long, but it's a high leg kick, a little bit of Louis Tion twisting behind. All that factors in. You just don't pick up the baseball. 299th career start for Lilly. 117 and 101 in his career.
He's 6th among left-handers, active left-handers in victories with the 117. And this ball on the ground to second. Jamie Carroll will throw out Eric Young. This guy gives you the comfortable collar more often than not. Saw it good, now it's 0 for 4. Tony Gwynn, Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier in the outfield. Miles, D. Gordon on the left side. Jamie Carroll and James Loney on the right side. Rod Barajas making his first start of the series.
This is interesting, Drew.
Different.
Did you just see what just happened there? They moved Aaron Miles. They have the switch on Jason Giambi. Miles went from third base all the way over to the second base side.
And I'll tell you what, I think it's a brilliant move by Don Mattingly. Why? I've never seen this before.
I haven't either.
It's usually the third baseman shifts to shortstop. The shortstop will shift to the right side against a guy you want to put 3 on the right side. But D. Gordon has far more range, so if he's by himself and this one sneaks through, why not put the quickest guy alone?
And the other thing that helps, so is Aaron Miles is more comfortable playing on that side of the bag. D. Gordon has come up as a shortstop. Miles has played second. He's played third, so we send him over there. But even with the shift, Jason Giambi, I can still hit it through 3 guys on the right side.
So that'll get Tulowitzki to the plate. That's just the 6th AB this year for Giambi against a left-handed pitcher. He was 1 for 5 prior to that base hit. Tulowitzki struggled with Lilly, 3 for 19. He's got the average like Cargo up to 268. Huey, you send Giambi here?
No, I'm going to go ahead and give him the hold sign, the stop sign. Whatever the stop sign is from Richie Dower, that's what he's getting.
Something tells me he doesn't need to get that sign.
No.
Here's the 1-0. 2-0.
Lilly gave a little extra look into DJ Rayburn on that after that last pitch, thinking that should have been called a strike.
Tulo 2 for 4 last night with a home run. 7 for his last 13. And that is in there. 2-1.
Well, at 2-0, Troy not swinging on that fastball that was about thigh high. He was sitting something off speed, whether it's the changeup or this slider.
Three and 1. Wigginton on deck. The other thing Lily's done against the Rockies, Huey, he struck a lot of guys out. 57 and 51 in the third innings against the Rockies.
He doesn't give up many walks either. He's third in the National League in walks per 9 innings, trailing only Halladay and Jurgens.
This is popped up out of play. Rockies, by virtue of that 6-5 victory last night, are now back to 500 at home, 15 and 15 with 51 left at 20th and Blake, including the one that's already underway. Ronnie Lansford and Jim Tracy visiting. 3-2 with 2 outs. Loney now playing behind Giambi. Jason will be off with the pitch. And it's popped up left side. Miles will make the catch in foul ground. So the Rockies get a Jason Giambi single. That's it. We'll go to the second, no score.
And a great night for the Wives charity event. They do this every year, the Rockies Wives. They have their grab bag event. They did it Friday night and Saturday night. As you can see, a $40 donation. You grab a bag, you get an autographed ball. Could be Tulo Cargo Helton, could be Clay Mortensen. You get what you get, and all the money goes to the Rockies Charity Fund. Now, they expect, guys, this weekend to raise upwards to $30,000 with that great event. Let's go back to Drew and Jeff. All right, guys?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's terrific. James Loney takes ball 1. Jason Hamill gave up a 2-out single to Ethier in the first inning, then struck out Matt Kemp. And that's a good looking pitch, 1-1. Good news today. The Giants played an afternoon affair, and Cincinnati beat them up. Tim Lincecum, that's 4 straight starts that Lincecum has struggled. He gave up 6 runs and was out of there. A 10-2 final.
He only went 4 innings. Now he's 5-5 on the season.
So the Rockies are 4 out currently. With a victory, they'd move to 3.5 behind San Francisco. And an easy play for Hamill. Loney's retired, 1 out. That'll bring up Barajas. Well, if your windshield has not been fixed yet since the winter, you're late getting it done. Head on down to Safe Light Auto Glass. Call them first, 303-287-5000, or go to safelight.com. Eric Young Jr. moves over and makes the catch, playing a lot of outfield in Colorado Springs. So
he was out early today, before batting practice, during batting practice, taking balls off the bat. Glen Allen Hill hitting fungos. Just to be prepared, make sure you get all your work in. And we've seen him already this year move around a lot during batting practice. They'll take him in left, they'll take him in center, right, go to second base.
EY's got a tremendous work ethic. You know what, if you're Jim Tracy or Glen Allen Hill, as you mentioned, works with the outfielders, go out there, be an athlete.
Well, 2 nights ago, we went out to right field, played an inning.
2-0 on Miles. On the ground, deep short, and into left field past the diving Tulowitzki. That'll bring up Tony Gwynn. Tomorrow after the game, we bring you the new faces that made their Rockies debut this week on Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy. And the Rockies have made their selections. We'll break down the team's picks from draft day. And Todd Helton will reflect back on his draft day experiences. Plural. He's drafted twice. Second round by the Padres out of high school. First round after his junior year in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee. Gwynn didn't offer at it. It's called ball 1.
But I don't understand why he's bunting.
He wants to get Ted Lilly up there with traffic.
Why not try to hit a double to drive the guy in at first?
You got me. Ted Lilly doesn't have a hit this year.
0 for 23.
Well, we won't have to worry about it. He's retired. Nice job by Hamill once again. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. The Rockies and Dodgers scoreless. Inning number 2 at Coors Field with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Perfect night for baseball, and the Rockies 2-0 so far in this homestand.
And scoring a lot of runs. That's you want to get that momentum going back at Coors Field where you have that invincibility that we can't lose here. and you're starting to kind of feel that again.
Get it back.
Exactly. You have to.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
This is a 10-game homestand. Ty Wigginton will lead it off against Lilly. And this is popped up, and I'm reaching. Oh, Huey. You know what?
If we had Doug's grabber.
I have 32-inch sleeves. If I had like 42-inch sleeves.
If we had Doug, you give me that grabber. See, I could have got it with the grabber. See? Maybe like right. Oh.
See, you could have, because you have longer arms.
They're taller.
I don't know why you weren't thinking about the grabber earlier. This ball's hammered. Deep left field. The grabber won't reach that. 20 rows up. Ty Wigginton makes it 1-0. Number 6 for Wigginton. That was a no-doubter.
We've seen Ty about the last 3 weeks. Ever since he's gotten the everyday start at third base with the release of Jose Lopez back on May 28th. He has 3 home runs, now 6 RBIs, hitting over 300. And you could just feel that confidence from him growing.
Well, in his last at bat against Ted Lilly, he hit a home run at Dodger Stadium a little more than a week ago.
And this pitch was away just a little bit from him.
Incoming.
Yeah, heads up. At 15 rows deep.
2-0 on Chris Nelson. And Nelson fouls it off.
That's 12 home runs now allowed from Ted Lilly, which would put him 5th in the National League.
In most home runs allowed.
Yes. Brett Myers, Bronson Arroyo leading at 16.
You know, it's not unusual to see guys that throw a lot of strikes and don't have overwhelming stuff, and Arroyo falls in that category certainly, to give up some home runs.
But the only difference there is I could see it in those ballparks that they play in compared to Dodger Stadium, because they're in Cincinnati and Houston, two, to me, launching pads.
2-2, good swing by Nelson.
At least Cincinnati, down the line in Houston, that's pretty easy to hit it in the Crawford box.
But the one thing, and if you check it out, I'm sure it's true, especially with Lilly and with Arroyo, because they throw so many strikes, a lot of solo home runs. They don't walk people. They're not putting extra guys on base. Curveball missed outside. 3-2. This ball pulled down the line, goes off of Miles near the tarp. Nelson will get second base easily. A double for Chris Nelson. That was a rocket.
It was really just self-defense down at third base for Aaron Miles. Slider down and in. All Chris had to do was drop the barrel down into the zone and just rip it. If Miles doesn't knock that down, that's down into the left field corner. Might rattle around a little bit, could get to third base, but because he hit it over towards the tarp, D. Gordon was able to run over there and pick it up.
Nelson has decent speed. Got a lefty on the mound. See if he can get in that blind spot. Charlie Blackmon at the plate. Hit just under 300 against lefties this year at AAA. And that's not a bad thought.
Smart.
Anytime you have nobody out and a runner at second, your job is to move them.
Well, and Charlie has no history with Ted Lilly. He doesn't know where that ball is going to break. How's the fastball, the changeup, any of those other pitches. You have Miles at third. It's right in on the grass. Think about it again.
Pulled, nicely done. Loney thought not a play you make. So a nice job by Charlie Blackmon pulling the baseball. And now Nelson can score in a variety of ways. Well, we talked about this a moment ago. Our Colorado Lottery replay. Wigginton in the 7th inning in Los Angeles against Ted Lilly. The Rockies had only 1 run at this point, and then Wigginton went deep. That was a 2-out home run in the 7th inning. And now very next at bat, facing Ted Lilly, he's done it again, even deeper into the stands. Don't forget to buy your bonus millionaire raffle tickets before the last bonus drawing on June the 12th. Chris Iannetta, the infield's halfway. Iannetta has had some success against Lilly, 3 for 13. He owns a home run against Lilly.
I'm a little surprised they're playing the halfway with Chris Nelson over at third and his speed. Don must think this might be a low scoring affair.
Tip of the cap to Jason Hamill.
Right. You don't want to give up an early run, a cheap run. Just looking to see if they might move him back now that the count's 2-0. They still kept him in.
This is lifted, foul, and out of play. Pulled the string on him, and it's 2-2. Now you bear down if you're Chris Iannetta. You got to get it in play. Give yourself a chance to score Nelson.
A lot of holes. Ethier's playing very deep. Tony Gwynn in left field, Ethier in right. With the infield in, you dump it just over the head of the infield grass, and you've got a base hit and an RBI.
And that was a controlled swing. It was a changeup. He went back-to-back changeups, and again, Chris didn't try to do too much. That was a good two-strike approach.
I like your word, controlled. It wasn't an overswing trying to hit a 2-run home run. Let me just do my job. Let me stay balanced as a hitter. Well, they just flashed the fastball away. He wiped to it. Does that mean they might go back, try to go inside then?
3-2. Hamill's on deck.
You see pitchers do that sometimes. If it was a fastball away by Barajas, Ted Lilly wiped down the leg of his pants. And what that means is I want to change location. I like the pitch, but I want to change location.
Here's the 3-2. Well, Lilly's lucky there. That was a pitch up into the liking of Iannetta. He just missed it.
Because Chris is thinking about hitting the ball to right field. If this was earlier in the count, that one's going to end up where Ty Wigington hit the ball. But because there's 2 strikes, that controlled swing that you talked about a moment ago, let me see it and just try to put it in play.
Make sure it's a fastball. 3-2 again. Swung on and missed. So Iannetta goes down. Ted Lilly has 2 outs, and that'll bring up Hamill as the infield will drop back. You know, Ted Lilly at Dodger Stadium gave up just 2 runs on 4 hits in beating the Rockies. Didn't walk anybody. That's true to form, and he struck out 8 on 6 of his last 7 decisions against Colorado.
A lot of those strikeouts were looking strikeouts.
Hamill, a home run this year against Zach Greinke in Milwaukee. He's driven in 3. Hard on the ground, and it comes up nicely for Jamie Carroll. In the inning, the Rockies get a solo home run from Ty Wigington to break the ice. They lead it 1-0 at Coors Field. 8th home run of the year. It matches his total from a year ago. Squeaks it inside the foul pole at Petco a few days ago. Did you know that heat sinks in computers are made of molybdenum? And the most productive mine in the world is located right here in Colorado. Ted Lilly will lead it off in the 3rd inning. And Hamill misses ball 1. Lilly with his first hit of the year. Rockies are in one of those periods that happens at least once a year where the pitcher's getting a hit a night against them. Doesn't it seem that way?
Clayton Kershaw had a couple hits the other night. Tim Stauffer, San Diego, drove in the 2nd run in that game.
He's the only guy who could hit Ubaldo Jimenez. Well, since the Rockies moved Helt to the 3 spot and Cargo to the 1st spot, it's worked out well for those two and most notably the team. Cargo hitting over 400. Todd, who's sitting this one out, 7 extra base hits, 7 RBIs, batting .472. That's why you're reluctant to make a change just yet if you're Jim Tracy. D. Gordon at the plate.
Well, if it's going to be a situation where Todd was going to miss 4 or 5 days, then you would probably think about going back to that, but not just sitting out, at least starting tonight's ball game where he's going to be back in there tomorrow.
Gordon looking down at Tim Wallach for the signs.
Gordon still could lay down a bunt.
There goes Lilly, and he lays down the bunt and it goes foul. So it's a bunt and run.
Well, Lilly took off even before that ball was delivered to home by Jason. I mean, he's off the bag. He never stops him. That's on Jason Hamill. I know it's the pitcher over there, but you have to make that base runner stop.
1-2 in the air to left. Blackman's there, 1 out. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rocky. See a Wells Fargo banker for details. Jamie Carroll, who had his bat broken his first time up on a flare to second. He was 8 for his last 18 at the plate. Lilly was bouncing around a moment ago. Now he has a little league lead.
Almost 1 foot on the base.
Yeah.
That's foreign territory to him. First hit this year for Lilly.
It's 2-0 on Carroll. There goes Lilly again, and the throw to second is low, and Lilly has stolen second base.
It's the same thing he did just a moment ago. That's not Chris's fault. He had to rush that throw, but Jason has to look at that guy over at first. You can't let him bounce like that, or one of the infielders has to say step off.
Yeah, that goes to my theory. I think some right-handed pitchers, they really can't see over there peripherally. Because if you take one look, all of a sudden the lead's completely different. He's bouncing around. You'd at the very least step off, if not picked.
Well, and the way Jason kind of opens up to look at first base before he grabs the ball and comes to the set position.
You can't let Ted Lilly steal second base.
A third career steal for Ted Lilly. And then he also slides in head first.
And Carroll walks. And now you're getting to that part of the lineup you don't want to be in with traffic. Here's Andre Ethier, who smoked a single to right. Went slider 3-1, and it clearly missed.
Yep.
Rockies up 1-0 on the Wigginton home run.
And this is where you hope the focus of Jason doesn't wander. You know, with Ted Lilly stealing a base, then you walk Jamie Carroll. You're walking into the lion's mouth with these next two guys.
And Hamill falls behind.
You make a mistake, hang a breaking pitch, flat fastball. It'll quickly be 3-1 deficit.
Nelson's in the hole. One.
If fans, you want to buy a Rockies baseball branded by C. Lazy U Ranch on June 18th. If you do, the proceeds will benefit the Colorado Rockies Foundation. They'll be near the kids' interactive area out in right field. Those are pretty neat baseballs.
And it's 2 balls and a strike.
That kind of goes along with the way the Dodgers are out on the road. As a team, they're hitting 264 compared to home, but just at 239, and average almost a run and a half more out on the road.
Broken bat, shallow fly ball. Cargo will get there. 2 outs. Not out of the woods yet, because here comes the hottest hitter in baseball, Matt Kemp. Since June 3rd, he has hit .517 with 6 home runs and 14 ribbies. And last night he hit a monster shot in the 9th inning to ignite a 5-run rally for Los Angeles.
On the pregame show, Tom had an opportunity to sit down with Don Mattingly. He was saying that Matt Kemp really wanted that at bat last night. That streak means something to him. So Don said, I wasn't going to stand in his way.
Hamill struck him out the first time. And then he goes inside with a fastball. It's ball 1.
Kemp seems to have a little bit more bend in the knees this year. Last year I remember him a little bit more upright. He's always had the bat real high over the top of his head.
Two and nothing on Matt Kemp.
He's able to get him to chase a high fastball in his last at bat, but that's because he was working ahead.
Yeah, the difference in that at bat was it was a 1-2 pitch as opposed to now where
he might even swing 3-0.
Yeah, you got to be careful right here. I'd have him swinging 3-0 the way he swung the bat. So now the bases are loaded for James Loney, who in terms of success against Jason Hamill, maybe the most dangerous guy in the Dodger lineup based on past performance. 8 for 23 with 3 home runs coming in.
And only 1 strikeout. So that tells you he sees the ball out of the hand of Hamill.
And he pops him up. Nicely done. Tulowitzki makes the catch, and Jason Hamill works out of that. Dodgers leave him loaded. 1-0 Rockies. Brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark?
You guys already mentioned that Carlos Gonzalez this year hitting .402 as a leadoff hitter. He has not hit a home run in that spot in the order, but he has hit 15 in his career. And ironically, the last time Carlos Gonzalez went to do as a leadoff hitter a year ago today off of Ricky Romero of the Blue Jays. You may remember that Friday night, a rainy night. The Rockies got the win. It was a shortened game, but that is the last time he's homered as a leadoff hitter. He has 59 in his career. He's got 3 in his career, the most of any pitcher off of Ted Lilly, who's on the mound tonight. Let's go back to Drew and Jeff.
All right, Mark, thank you. Cargo hit a fairly sharp grounder to the left side his first time up. Aaron Miles cut it off. He's doing a good job staying back the last few days, Huey. And he lays down a bunt, and he already has 3 bunt base hits this year, including 1 last night. Well, he likes to do that.
Well, when you bunt, you want to try to catch the ball right at the end of the bat. You don't want it on the sweet spot. You want it up more towards the end where that little cup is. Well, and that's what he did, but he just caught it just a little bit too much and had the spin on it and spun out of the way. When he goes to bunt the baseball, he's fortunate that foot wasn't on the ground when he made contact with that baseball. If you're out of the batter's box when you make contact, you're out. But if it's still up in the air, you're fine.
He had a lot of spin on it.
It looked like a Pro V1 almost, where it spun back.
He backed it up. Cargo leading off here in the 3rd inning. Rockies up 1-0. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2.
But to go back to your point just a moment ago, Drew, his mechanics are better because he's not over-rotating the top half of his swing where he's closing the shoulder off too much, and then the only way you can swing is to spin like a top to come out of it.
This is fouled off out of play. He was describing it to us yesterday by the batting cage, saying that he felt like he was going to get the baseball too much, and so, you know, a fastball then looks like, 90+ mile an hour fastball looks like 190 because you're going in that direction and it's coming instead of staying back and letting the ball come to you.
And you don't see spin either, because the spin, your eyes are moving, your head's jumping, everything.
This is a high fly ball to left field. He just missed it. Tony Gwynn's out there, and Cargo's retired. But it's good to see him hitting the ball in that direction. It's another indication he's letting the ball travel. Our Geico quote of the day from the incomparable Vin Scully. Never was a sport more ideally suited to television than baseball. It's all there in front of you. It's theater, really. The star is the spotlight on the mound. The supporting cast fanned out around him. The mathematical precision of the game moving with the inevitability of a Greek tragedy, with the Greek chorus in the bleachers. You know what? A paragraph like that could only be uttered by Vin Scully.
Such a treat to be able to dine with him down in the press dining room. Just listen to his stories,
of which he has forgotten more than we'll ever know. Here's the 1-0. And actually the beauty of Vin is he hasn't forgotten many. The other day when we were in Los Angeles and George was there, Jeff, we were talking about a pitcher and comparing him to somebody from just a few years ago. And Scully, who was in the conversation, here's the 1-1. Said, you know what, he reminds me of Whitey Ford. And he went on in a beautiful story about Whitey Ford. And, you know, Frazier and I have our jaws dropped because obviously we can't go there.
Not that far back.
We can't go that far back, but Vin can, and he remembers as if it happened last week.
50 years in the booth.
No, 62.
That's right.
Slowly hit, chance for EY to get a leg hit. Miles on the move. Well done by Aaron Miles.
We got rid of that quickly. The transfer is where he allows him to make that out on Eric Young Jr. There's not a whole lot of wasted motion. Eric Young allowed, and D. Gordon, the two youngsters with the best speed out here on the field. Now Aaron Miles going back over to that position we saw just a moment ago. Yeah, folks, this guy right there was Aaron Miles, the third baseman. So how do you score that then? It would be a 5-3, wouldn't it?
Well, wherever Aaron Miles fields it, it's 5-3. Giambi could cross up the defense. Not going to happen now at 2 strikes. If he lays down a bunt, it'll take 3 days for somebody to reach the baseball. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. And so Miles goes over, and Giambi still finds a hole. Next bonus draw, June 12th. Here's the 0-2. And that's just foul. You know what, D. Gordon, you go over on that side too.
What was that game you used to play growing up where you couldn't hit it to one side of the field or the other?
Right.
That's pretty much what they're going to be doing here in a moment. Okay, Jason, you can't hit the ball to the left side of second base. When you're playing your pickup game with your buddies and there's only about 5 or 6 of you.
You got barely half a field.
Half a field.
And if you're wondering, talk to Giambi about this and other guys that see a shift. You can't alter your hitting philosophy. Giambi's going to try to take a pitch and hit it hard where it's pitched. And if he happens to pull it, so be it.
Hit it through him. He did it earlier.
Good battle going here.
Jason's paid to go up there and try to hit the ball a far distance.
He's done a pretty good job of it in his career.
That'd be nice if he hit it all the way out to that camera.
That would be a long, long way. Should almost count twice. One and two.
Well, they're hoping you throw them away if you're Ted Lilly, and in hopes that he'll try to pull it through those guys or hit to the guys on the right side.
Giambi shatters his bat, and can Kemp get there? Yeah. Nice catch by Matt Kemp. I guess the hamstring's okay. Very fine catch by Matt Kemp to end the inning. Rockies have the only run as we go to the fourth. Ted Lilly likes it. Park. Isn't it always 1-0 Colorado as we go to the fourth inning? Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments and questions to 720-720. We'll do Toyota talk in the sixth inning. Now we have a subject for you. A couple of high place sources have indicated that Major League Baseball and ownership groups are in serious discussion to put forth in front of the Players Association an idea to realign. There's 16 teams in the National League, folks, as many of you know, and 14 in the American League. To move a team from the National League to the American League so it's even, 15 and 15. And one of the other things that's been kicked around is that there would be 5 playoff teams in each league, and they would get rid of divisional play. I don't know if that'll happen because that's been met with a lot more skepticism supposedly behind closed doors, but there is some momentum evidently for 15 and 15, which would make some sense. And the team, again, these are all unsubstantiated, sources right now. The team that would move would be the Houston Astros because they'd have a natural rivalry in the American League with Texas, who plays in Arlington, your former club. What are your thoughts on that? I want to get Huey's thoughts naturally. You see Houston and Atlanta in a 2-2 ball game in the 7th. Would you be in favor of realignment and having 15 teams in each league?
I would be. I would like to see it go back to 15 and 15. It changed back in '98 when Tampa and Arizona joined the league. But why not put Milwaukee back in the American League? Because they were there back in '97. They went to the National League in '98. It'd make perfect sense to slide them back over there because they've already been there.
Well, I guess maybe the argument against is they've developed a nice little rivalry with the Chicago Cubs. Barajas with a base hit. I don't think Rod's going to challenge the arm of Charlie Blackmon, and he'll stay at first base. So leadoff single in the 4th. I think, honestly, that does make some sense, but I think it makes more sense to move Houston and get that rivalry going with Texas. You have 15 in each league. I'm not at all in favor of getting rid of divisional
play. I don't like that at all.
It would take away from the great August and September pennant races, because some teams would just lock up a spot, and then it'd be a battle for the who's 6th and 7th trying to get to the 5th spot. But I like divisional play. I like the rivalries of divisional play. Aaron Miles at the plate, takes ball 1.
So the questions for the fans then is which team?
Well, you can sound off on which team, certainly. Would you be in favor of it? I bet you a lot of people don't realize, unless they took the time to say, wait a second, there are 16 teams in the National League, just 14 in the American League. See, I like interleague play, and there's a lot of people that don't because they say a lot of times it's unfair. You may have one team playing a much weaker interleague play than another team, and if you have a natural rivalry, like the Mets every year have to play the Yankees 6 times. Oakland has to play the world champion Giants 6 times, and maybe somebody else they're competing with is not in that situation and has maybe a softer interleague play. I mean, listen, when you play 162, I still believe at the end of 162 you are who you are. So I don't have a problem with it. But
I like interleague play, but maybe you switch up the rules in a National League park, then you play American League rules to give each league or team a feel for the other league.
Sure. So in other words, if this was an interleague game here, the DH would be in play, and then the fans of the Rockies who don't see the DH at home would get to see it. A guy like Giambi would be in the lineup all 3 days. 2-0. And a ground ball that's going to sneak through. And Barajas was going to run on Young, and I think just about anybody else in their lineup would have kept going. Tim Wallach shut him down after a wide turn. So now 2 on, nobody out, with Tony Gwynn coming to the plate.
Well, just a chopper off in front of the dirt and had the top spin to get by. Eric Young closed ground quickly and got the throw in, got it off like a second baseman would. So Barajas could not go to third. Well, we saw Gwynn up his first time with 2 outs. Think about bunting. Now wouldn't be a bad time to do it.
I'll tell you one thing that's got to change is Jason Hamels flirting with danger. He has been behind consistently the last couple of innings. He worked his way out of the bases loaded situation in the 3rd, getting Loney to pop up.
Yeah, well, he's just 5 of 17 first pitch strikes tonight.
That's not good. Bunted foul, 1-1.
Tim Wallach's going to pull Tony Gwynn Jr. down to tell him if they're crashing hard to pull back and use the slash or slug bunt, whatever you want to call it. Don't bunt into guys that are charging.
Could you pick that up quick enough, Huey, when you were at the plate?
If you square around early enough, because out of the corner of your eye you could see those guys starting to creep. So if you square around about right now, you can pull the bat back and do it.
This ball's driven to right center field. Young's going to get over and make the catch. Barajas will move up. Nice job by Eric Young, because off the bat that looked like it may be a tweener.
But the speed of Eric was able to make up the difference of being a base hit, blue base hit, or not. The ball jammed Tony Gwynn Jr. a little bit. Eric gets it, sets his feet, delivers the ball to the cutoff man to make sure you still have that double play in order. We know Ted Lilly's going to be laying down a sacrifice bunt, but you still have to keep that runner at first. Hey, the Padres come into town June 13th, 14th, and 15th. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wednesday's a day game. Make sure you get your tickets, because tickets are still available at all the usual places, including at ColoradoRockies.com.
Ted Lilly, who slapped a base hit through the left side of the infield his first time up, his first knock of the year. He'll be looking to bunt here with 1 out.
I was talking a moment ago of Tony Gwynn Jr. squaring around early enough. Ted Lilly is doing what pitchers are taught to do. Just go ahead and square around. Everybody in the park knows you're going to be bunting. Why try to hide anything?
It's a good bunt. Giambi will tag Lilly. 2 outs. And that'll bring up D. Gordon. And again, a chance for Hamill to get out of this without any damage. He's gotten Gordon twice. Ground ball to third base and a fly ball to Charlie Blackmon and left. And the Rockies outfield, and really their infield, they'll swing around because we haven't really seen Gordon get the bat head out yet. He's hit the ball the other way consistently.
Yeah, some flares, some inside out swings, but nothing where he that last half 6 inches or so where the bat just pow and hits the ball hard. But with that bunt and allowing Aaron Miles to get to second base, now the infielders have to make a long throw. So if it's a throw that's going to take an infielder one way or another, D. Gordon will have the opportunity to try to beat it out.
See, Hamill's falling behind 2-0. This is the guy you want. You don't want any part of Jamie Carroll.
The rookie versus the veteran.
Great bat control. He's going to force you to throw a strike. He obviously has the ability to produce a little more pop. Not that Jamie's going to hit home runs, but he's a tougher out. This kid just got here. Here's the 2-0, and that misses. It's 3-0. Hamill, you know what? Hamill's treating Gordon right now like he's Babe Ruth. Come after him. You throw the ball 94, 95 miles an hour, right?
Set up right down the middle of the plate.
Gordon won't be swinging here. If he is, he'll be in big trouble. 3-1.
Set up there again. If he hits a base hit, it's because you fell behind 3-1.
And a chopper to short. Tulowitzki moves quickly and he throws him out. So Jason Hamill works out of another situation. That's 7 left on for the Dodgers in the first 4 innings. The Dodgers tomorrow. That'll end the 4-game series. And the Padres are in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Jeff just told you about that. Thursday is an off day. And then the weekend will bring the Detroit Tigers to town. Daniel Schlereth working out of the bullpen for the Tigers. My good friend Mark's son, former #1 pick of Arizona, inside on Tulowitzki.
Sure, Mark and Lisa will be in the stadium.
You know what? Mark and Lisa will be here. It's, you know, they root for the Tigers. Obviously, their son plays for the Tigers, but they root for two teams. They are enormous Rockies fans. 1 ball and 1 strike. Troy against the Dodgers this year, a .379 batting average with 3 home runs and 8 driven in. And he went soft away. It's 2-1. Lilly, an all-star in 2004, an all-star again in 2009. Best season in the big leagues, 2008, won 17 games with the Cubs.
He has over 10 years of Major League service time. I'm just thinking that was a pretty nice trade for the Dodgers. Not a good trade for the Cubs.
No, it was an outstanding move by Ned Colletti picking up Lilly. Here's the 3-1.
Making sure they pitch Troy down. They do not want to leave anything up to him. They saw the home run that he hit in yesterday's ball game that was left up by Chad Billingsley.
Rare strikeout by Troy Tulowitzki, caught looking for the first out in the 4th inning.
Just his 20th strikeout on the season for Troy.
Look down. Close.
Oh, yeah. He saw it out of the hand as a ball, but with the spin, just hoping he called it a ball at home.
Wigginton, the reason the Rockies are ahead 1-0. Let's take a look at our Coors Light cold hard blast. Ty Wigginton against Ted Lilly, and no doubt about this one, he hammered it to deep left center field. Last 2 at bats against Lilly, 2 home runs. And then he took a home run hack there. He almost came out of his shoes.
Almost wrenched his back. To talk about a home run swing, that was it. A little bit off balance.
One and 2. That strikeout, by the way, for Tulowitzki is first in a calendar week. Jeff mentioned it, just 20 strikeouts this year. He and Placido Polanco, the Phil's toughest guys to strike out in the National League. Curveball and a beauty. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chris Nelson. Let's check in with Mark Stout. He's got our AT&T trivia question. Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys, last night, Yoeli Chassin, great outing, 8 scoreless innings, so he was an inning away from his 2nd complete game shutout here at Coors Field. Only 1 pitcher has thrown 2 complete game shutouts in this park. Can you name them? Think it over. We'll get to the answer coming up.
All right, Mark, here's Chris Nelson. He's the last guy to reach for the Rockies. He had a double after the Wigginton home run. So he was at 2nd, nobody out in the 2nd inning, but Blackman did his job. He moved him to 3rd on a right side ground ball. Iannetta struck out after a lengthy at bat, and Jason Hamill hit it sharply to 2nd to end the threat. Lilly has retired 8 straight since then. And you know what? He's doing what he always does against the Rockies. You look up there, it's 2 outs in the 4th inning, nobody on. The Rockies have that 1 run on just 3 hits.
And 3 strikeouts in the last 8 batters. Just kind of lulls you to sleep.
Well, you know, you keep waiting for the Rockies to have their day against Lilly. Coming in, somebody's doing some damage against him. He's giving up more hits than innings pitched.
ERA above 4. 4-5 on the season.
Cubs got after him on a couple of occasions, his old team. He got 5 off him twice this year. He came in and he gets a fly ball to shallow left. Wynn makes the catch. That's all for the Rockies. 9 in a row set down by Ted Lilly, but the Rockies lead it 1-0.
AT&T trivia question. Last night, Jhoulys Chacín, an inning away from the second complete game shutout here at Coors Field. He only went 8. Only one pitcher has thrown 2 complete game shutouts in this park, and it's not a Rocky. It's Tom Glavine back in the 90s when he was with the Braves. Great pitcher, the only guy to throw 2 complete game shutouts at Coors Field. The answer to AT&T trivia. Drew, Jeff?
All right, that's an interesting one, and he was 1 inning away from throwing another shutout. He's been terrific. Chacín with 7 victories now, and the second lowest batting average against in the National League. The league hitting 199 against him. That's a strike on Jamie Carroll, 0-2. Tommy Hanson of the Braves, the league's hitting 195 against Hanson.
And those 7 victories lead the ball club for a 23-year-old.
1-2. Jamie played at the University of Evansville, and that's now coached by his brother Wes, who took over the program in 2008.
What, the Purple Aces?
It's the Purple Aces. Had to bust him in. It's 2-2.
A lot of the super regionals going on now in college baseball in anticipation of the College World Series in Omaha here in about a week.
Line drive, base hit for Jamie Carroll. It's the 3rd straight inning that the leadoff man has reached. And now you're in the thick part of the lineup with Andre Ethier coming up. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Lilly's topped out at 90. Hamill has consistently been 93, 94.
But the difference is Ted Lilly's working ahead more than Jason Hamill is tonight.
Well, you can't continually, especially in a 1-run game, have leadoff guys reach. It puts too much pressure on you.
Well, the other thing too, he's thrown 66 total pitches, 36 strikes, 30 balls.
To his credit, he's made big pitches. He struck out Kemp in the first with Ethier on board. James Loney popped out with the bases loaded in the 3rd. He got D. Gordon after falling behind 3-0 with runners at 2nd and 3rd last inning.
They just continue to walk that tightrope.
Keep an eye on Carroll.
Jamie's one of those smart base runners that he's not going to just take off unless he reads something. 5 stolen bases has not been caught this year. But he'll get that 13, 14-foot lead right off the backside of first base. Left foot turned a little bit for the turn.
He was leaning. You see that?
Yep. But that's a textbook lead for any player, where it's a step and a dive. Even if you're leaning, a little false break towards second, half step, dive back to that corner with your hand or your right hand. You're always leaning already to second base.
Ground ball, chance for 2. Giambi makes a bad feed, picked up by Tulowitzki. Horrible throw back, and it goes into the crowd. And because of that, Ethier is going to be awarded second base.
Jamie's asking Tim McClellan if he's safe. But Troy had to pick that ball and then go back to the bag. Just a horrible feed from Jason Giambi.
Actually, it was so poor it worked out because it came up as a clean hop.
Yeah, but it came up as a clean hop, but then he had to go back to the bag and try to find it. And then Jamie's right on top of him.
But there's no one near the bag. Again, easy to play the game from up here, but Troy needed to eat that baseball. There was no one there.
Yeah, but to me, that's a miscommunication between Jason and Jason. Yeah. Somebody's got to get to the bag. Now, whether that ball goes over their head, I don't know. But you can't just stop because the shortstop can't see that.
You got Matt Kemp at the plate.
Okay, goes and gets it. Jamie's right on top of him. He goes back to the bag, steps on the bag as he's making the throwing motion, and that's why he threw it away. Jamie slid right into his left ankle. But see where Jason Giambi is. He's at the cut of the grass. Jason Hamill wasn't even over to first base.
1-1 on Matt Kemp. Just the 3rd error on Tulowitzki all year. One and 2. Now, when he was ahead in the count in the first inning, he struck out Kemp high and in.
So you're saying go back there again?
Well, yeah, I don't know, because listen, Matt Kemp's hitting 332 coming in because he makes adjustments. Maybe you got to go slider away in this instance. That's what they do, and it misses. 2-2. I mean, Huey, you know better than anybody. The good ones adjust on the fly pretty quickly, and they have a long memory.
And Matt Kemp adjusted from last year when he hit 249. He would fish at those sliders. This year he's not as much.
See, late movement from Ionetta. He doesn't want to give away location to Ethier. He goes in. That means heater, and it was left out over the plate, and it's hit to deep right. Young going back, and it's off the wall. Ethier had to wait, and it'll be a run-scoring double, and they're going to get it out as Kemp just stumbled over the bag. The run scores to tie up the game, and the Rockies get a gift out. I mean, Matt Kemp wasn't going anywhere. He literally stumbled over the bag and is tagged out. So Matt Kemp stays hot. He drives in his 55th run. And it's a 1-1 ball game.
Well, for a guy that's making his first start out in right field, and Eric Young Jr., he thought he had a chance to catch this ball, and then he played it perfectly off the wall, where he gets it and throws it in, hits the cutoff man, and Troy at second base. Thank you very much for falling off the bag.
That's a fair ball. James Loney is out 3 unassisted. So Ethier scores on the Kemp double to tie it at 1. We're in the 5th inning. brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grilled Sandwich at participating restaurants. And Tri-State, providing affordable power while investing in innovation. Charlie Blackmon will lead it off for the Rockies, bottom of the 5th. He takes ball 1. He had a sharp ground ball to first in the 2nd inning to move Chris Nelson to 3rd with 1 out. Unfortunately, the Rockies could not cash in Nelson, who had doubled. 1-1 ball game. And this is pulled foul. That run against Hamill is unearned. It's one of those situations where it is the scorekeeper's discretion, because Ethier was on second after the Tulowitzki error. If he's just at first base, and I agree with Dave Platty, who's the official scorekeeper tonight, Young did a nice job deking, making it look like he had a chance at catching that baseball. There's no way Ethier would have scored from first. He held up when he was at second just now on the double by Kemp.
And that's why, as a scorer, whether you're scoring professional games, high school, college games, you really have to wait to see how that inning plays out before you rule, was it an earned run or unearned run.
2-2. Blackmon against Lilly. Iannetta on deck.
Almost worked backwards.
Rockies 17 hits last night. They have just 3 tonight. 17 hits, second highest total this year. And the Rockies, for the first time this year, double-digit hits in 3 straight ball games, all victories. Three and 2.
A lot of times in the minor leagues, 3-2 count, you'd get a fastball. See if Lilly goes with the fastball. Nope. Slider.
You can see that he is comfortable against lefties. Hangs in nicely, this Blackmon.
You're always telling yourself, as left on left, bury that right shoulder, keep it in, try to take him the other way.
And he does for a base hit. He's reading the Jeff Houston manual. So the Rockies have speed aboard, leading off the 5th inning in Blackmon. Go inside the war room and watch as the Rockies make their first round draft pick on Rockies All Access. Hear from current Rockies players about their own draft day experiences. It's only on Rockies All Access, and it comes your way tonight after the ball game.
Those war rooms are pretty nice. I've been in a couple different drafts when I was back working for the Cubs. That's an interesting thing. It's something you're not going to want to miss, fans.
Outside, ball 1 on Chris Iannetta. I had the opportunity to sit in on day 2 of the draft last year for a while. And it's fascinating, and it moves very, very quickly. You know, we're used to watching the NFL. It's been on television for a while. And first round, there's 15 minutes between picks. In Major League Baseball draft, after that first round and the supplemental picks, it moves quickly. You have to be ready.
You have to know what you're doing, who's up on your board, where you think guys will slot in. It's all the pre-draft preparation that you do. You're ranking your guys 1 from 100, the top 30 position players, whether they're shortstop, second base, whatever it is.
And because you're talking about 50 rounds, Rockies had 51 picks because they had a supplemental pick. There's over 1,500 players up on the board. Outside, 2-0. Hamill on deck. This time of day is tough on first baseman.
James Loney will have to put his glove up or his hand and pull his hat down just a little bit more to get a good look from Ted Lilly. And then what's the pitcher thinking? Can he see it if I throw it over there? Is he going to be able to catch it? Hey, all kids on Sunday, June 12th, will receive a Rockies baseball cap courtesy of our good friends at King Supers. Tomorrow's game against the Dodgers. 12:30 pregame here on Root Sports. 1 o'clock. 1:10 first pitch.
Blackmon takes off. He's picked off. He got a big jump and he steals the bag. Loney made a good throw. Carroll actually covering because D. Gordon was swung over in the hole. Charlie Blackmon's first big league stolen base. He was 12 of 17 down in AAA.
First movement, you take off, you just keep running. Ted Lilly doesn't really speed it up a little bit. Blackmon eating up a lot of ground with those long strides. Gets his foot into the bag before Jamie can make the tag. It wasn't because of Loney's throw to second base. It was because Lilly took so long getting rid of it over to first.
Nobody out. Blackmon at second. And it's outside. 3-1 on Iannetta. Now, whatever term you like, put it in a box. Look in a precise location.
Whatever your game plan is, don't deviate from it because you're ahead in the count 3-1 off of Lilly.
He got a pitch to his liking. He hit it backwards. 3-2.
This is where he was last time, and Lilly threw him cut fastball inside.
Carroll doing a good job keeping Blackmon close. Down low, ball 4. And now that makes this at bat for Jason Hamill a foregone conclusion. He's going to try to move these 2 runners up. Nobody out. 2 aboard for the Rockies pitcher. Chris Iannetta with yet another walk.
That's part of the reason why the Rockies are 4th in the National League in walks. Because of guys like Chris Iannetta down at the bottom of the order.
And again, Ted Lilly doesn't walk many people. It's just his 14th walk allowed all year, and this is his 14th start. Windshield issues, call Safelight, 303-287-5000. Go to safelight.com on the internet. Safelight Auto Glass. Here are the little things. You got to get this bunt down.
Jason has 6 sacrifice bunts on the year, which lead the pitching staff.
You were very good at doing this. I would think, correct me again if I'm wrong, that Lilly a little bit easier to bunt than, say, the guy who's throwing 95 plus.
For sure, because it's not coming in very hard. You want to bunt it down the third base line.
Well, he bunted it out in front of the plate. Lilly, for a moment, thought about third, but Blackmon runs well. So a nice job by Jason Hamill. 1-4 on the sacrifice, and now the Rockies have 2 in scoring position for Carlos Gonzalez.
Jason Hamill now slid up in the number 2 spot in the National League in sacrifice bunts, only trailing Roy Halladay.
Roy Halladay does everything well,
doesn't he? Sacrifice bunt, wins a lot of ball games, pitches a lot of innings.
Kind of what you want
from your ace.
Cargo in the ball game, ground ball to third and a fly ball to left field, and they're going to put him on. This is interesting. You have left on left, first base open. Of course, Gonzalez owns 3 career home runs against Ted Lilly. Don Mattingly saying, I'll take my chances with Eric Young, who is a very difficult man to double up.
And a guy that's hitting over 350 from the right side. But I'm going to go with the veteran against the young guy and not let Carlos at least drive in 1 or 2. He's playing the percentages. The other thing is you can have a ground ball back to the pitcher where they can come home. There's so many more different options to turn a double play with the bases loaded.
Now let me ask you another option that Jim Tracy has. You got a guy who flies at the plate who's used to bunting. Do you squeeze? You have plus speed at third. Do you think about it early in this sequence?
Not a straight out squeeze.
Safety?
Yeah, safety squeeze, because I don't want to run myself out of an inning. If he doesn't get that bunt down, you get the easy tag out.
Okay, safety squeeze, though, an option.
Yeah, safety squeeze definitely is an option where, and the difference is with the regular suicide squeeze, the guy at third base, as soon as that arm action comes home, he takes off. Safety squeeze is you wait to see if the bunt's down, and then you take off.
Another reason when you do suicide squeeze, it's easier doing it against a lefty because he can't see the runner.
And Charlie's going to be able to get a little bit further off of third base for that reason, because his vantage point is not like it would be for a right-handed pitcher.
Down low, ball one. I mean, there's a lot of things in this matchup that suggest it's a good play because you have a guy that's always around the plate on the hill in Ted Lilly. You got, again, plus speed at the plate, plus speed at third base. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the fifth. Bases loaded, EY Jr. at the plate. And he hits the ball in the air to shallow right. Ethier coming hard, makes the catch. Blackman cannot move up on that. And now it'll take a 2-out knock from Giambi. Well, that was the place, and he had hit the ball on the ground twice. That's the place Eric Young. If he doesn't hit the ball deep enough to the outfield, you wish he hit it on the ground, because again, he's going to be a tough guy to double. As long as he clears the pitcher.
Or the first baseman who was playing in James Loney.
Giambi is 1 for 2.
Jason, right man in the right spot this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, hitting .500.
And now not nearly the extreme shift we've seen. Gordon's playing somewhat up the middle, and they're going to get out of it. Matt Kemp in center field waiting. Ted Lilly gets out of a bases loaded 1-out situation. He gets Young to fly out and then Giambi to fly out. Freeze cam. Jason Giambi, a low throw, a nice pickup by Tulowitzki, and then Jamie Carroll took him out. It's a big reason why you saw the errant throw, and he also spiked him. The thing that Troy was able to get those spikes out of the dirt. He didn't get that leg pin. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 1-1, top of 6. Barajas, Miles, and Gwynn to face Jason Hamill. Ted Lilly doing it again to the Rockies. He danced his way out of a jam in the 5th inning, but he's given up just 1 run. He's played a complete game. He's been on base. He's stolen a base. Some,
his first big league hit.
Yeah, he's got his first hit
this
year.
I mean,
he's got some cuts to show the everyday guys. Shortstop RBIs in baseball. Tulowitzki with 41 is second. Stephen Drew third with Arizona. Arizona blowing out Florida. Well, it's tightened up a little bit. It was 9-2. It's now 9-5 in the 8th inning. And another 2-0 count. Barajas was 1 for 2. And that's not close. A slider, 3-0. The Astros deserve to be demoted. Keep divisional play. And that misses. A 4-pitch walk. That wouldn't surprise me if Jim Tracy gets some action up in that. Hamill's given up only 1 run, but there have been a lot of counts where he's on the wrong end of things.
It was a couple nights ago we were talking about high stress innings, high stress pitch counts. Well, he's at 79. I think about 75 of them have been high stress pitches.
He hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning. And now 5 straight out of the zone. Miles will make you throw a strike.
Yeah, somebody should go talk to Jason or just kind of slow things down a little bit.
Miles is 2 for 2. Giants aren't moving, folks.
Somebody move the Giants. One Texas team in each league is perfect. Well, Fish from Boulder, I agree with you. I don't like the DH either, but I'm just saying if it's going to be in there, maybe change the rules that way. I think baseball should have a uniform set of rules.
Florida. See, the reason it makes more sense with a Central team is there's 6 teams right now in the National League Central.
That's why I'm saying Milwaukee.
Somebody else said Milwaukee. Yeah, I think you definitely have to keep divisional play.
You have to.
Wow. That's 7 straight pitches out of the zone.
I see you.
And look, he's thrown 82 pitches tonight, 42 in the zone, 40 out of the zone. This is something he's battled tonight. And he's now put 2 on with nobody out, and he's not throwing a strike. So Jason's struggling here in the 6th inning. The only good thing is you're at the bottom part of the lineup. And now you got a lot of folks moving.
Yeah.
Matt Reynolds down there.
Matt had the night off last night after coming in a couple nights ago, having one of his first bad outings of the season through 29 pitches in that ball game. Had yesterday off, fresh and ready to go today.
Well, Keith Duggar's out there also. Keith, the Rockies' head trainer.
To the back. The last 3 or 4 pitches looks like he was really trying to aim the baseball.
He's going to take the baseball. That's it. So Jason Hamill will go off. And because the trainer's out there, Matt Reynolds will have as much time as he wants to warm up, and he can do it on the mound in the middle of the stadium. He'll have Tony Gwynn initially once he gets warmed up. 1-1 in the 6th inning. See if we notice anything with Hamill.
Bit of a shoulder shrug, but could that be a tightness in the back? It's kind of hard to tell from that angle what exactly it was.
Yeah, no point in guessing. We'll hopefully have a report very soon from the Rockies clubhouse. So we'll take a break. Again, it's 1-1 in the 6th inning. Nobody out. Barajas at second, Miles at first. Place to go is collegeinvest.org. You can open up an account online very quickly at collegeinvest.org. And you can also have money withdrawn monthly from your bank account, so you're not even thinking about it. You're taking care of your kids' future. Collegeinvest.org. Matt Reynolds is now on the hill for the Rockies. He inherits a difficult situation. Nobody out. 2 men on.
The 29th game on the season. An appearance for Matt Reynolds, which puts him second among National League rookies, only trailing Craig Kimbrell of the Atlanta Braves, who has 32. Oh, with Casey Blake on the on-deck circle, this is an easy sacrifice situation for the Dodgers. And Tony Gwynn left on left.
You don't have very good speed at second base. So Gwynn has to be a little more precise with this bunt.
But that's why he treated it more like a bunt for a base hit than a straight out sacrifice. To get the guys reading that late to hopefully allow Barajas to make it to third.
Yeah, that's a beautiful bunt, and you're not going to get anybody. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out on the bunt single by Gwynn. And Casey Blake will come up. He'll pinch hit for Lilly.
Oh, another case of who's got it? I got it. You've got it. Now Reynolds has to try to pick it up and throw it over the top of Jason Giambi. With Gwynn's speed, he treated that like a bunt for a base hit. Does not feel comfortable squaring around.
So Lilly now a spectator. 1 strike count on Blake, and he drives it down the line. Gwynn can fly, and Wallet's going to give him a green light. And he'll score. Blake at third is out. A bases clearing double for Casey Blake. Don Mattingly making the right call. He pinch hits Blake, and boy, does Blake come through. 4-1 Los Angeles.
Well, the 2 walks to start this inning come back to haunt you. Then the bunt base hit. Casey Blake gets a slider. It's more of a tumbler than a straight dive to that back ankle. There's the pinch hit. First pinch hit this year for Casey Blake. Drives in 3 runs.
7, 6, 2-5 on the put out at third. Another outfield assist for Carlos Gonzalez. Oh, 0-2 the count on D. Gordon. So Jason Hamill in 5+ innings gives up 3 runs, 7 hits. He walked 4, struck out 1. Still awaiting word from the Rockies clubhouse. I said Carlos Gonzalez. I'm so used to him being out in left field. It's Charlie Blackmon who got the assist, the outfield assist. Still awaiting word on why Hamill was removed, but
he went.
He did go. He has to get the out at first. But you know, we talked about it in the early innings. Jason was behind in a lot of counts, and you know, if you keep having traffic out there, at some point you're going to get burned.
And he was. He finally flirted with danger enough, and then whatever happened, he walked the 2 guys, but still comes back a little bit to the miscommunication on the bunt where Matt Reynolds was breaking more towards third. Jason tried to come in. Just constantly reminded how valuable Todd Helton is at first base.
Time's being called. I don't know if there's something on the field.
Well, there's a ball out in right field.
Yeah. Second base umpire Tim McClellan, the crew chief, saw it. With all the injuries for Don Mattingly, you don't try to play his cards, but I don't know how you can go more than a day without having Jamie Carroll out there. I mean, he gives you good at bat after good at bat. He's hitting over 300. Last year, you could make a convincing argument he was their team MVP.
Oh, with Furcal being out so much last year, playing shortstop all the time.
Been out a considerable amount again this year.
Yep, and you can play him at short, you can play him at second, you can play him at third base.
I know they paid a lot of money to Juan Uribe. Uribe's been struggling with the bat.
Yeah, but after a while it comes down to performance. Jamie Carroll hitting over 300 for your ball club.
In the air, pretty deep left center field. It's over everybody's head. Gonzalez and Blackmon run into each other, and Carroll is headed to third with a stand-up triple. That's his 2nd hit of the night. He also has a walk.
And 3rd triple on the season now for Jamie. Unfortunately, Casey Blake was thrown out at third base a moment ago, or else Jamie would have an RBI and another run for the Dodgers. The ball just kept hanging up there, and then with Carlos and Charlie run into each other, doesn't allow him to get back to the baseball quick enough, and Jamie takes it all the way to third base.
Andre Ethier at the plate. Slider for a strike. Reynolds in his last 2 outings has hit an inevitable slippery patch. He'd been going so well.
Too many balls being left up.
Four runs, 10 hits now for LA. A couple nights ago, the Rockies came from 4 runs down on 2 occasions.
Well, and the good thing about this is now you're talking about going into the Dodgers bullpen. That's the soft side of the Dodgers.
Got him. So Reynolds strikes out Ethier, and the inning is finally closed. A 3-run double from pinch hitter Casey Blake has given Los Angeles a 4-1 lead.
A 4-1 lead over the Rockies. Ted Lilly is out. Blake Hawksworth is on. Ted Lilly, with 1 walk in this game, now has allowed 2 or fewer walks in every start he has made since he joined the Dodgers last year. That is 26 straight starts, and that's the most in the majors. Second is Roy Halladay. You know his name, with 24 straight. He just pitched yesterday, but that is some great control by Ted Lilly. And the Rockies came into this game with 215 walks. That was 4th most in the National League. By the way, a quick hey to Larry and the boys. They're here, guys, from Custer, South Dakota. They watch us on Root Sports all the time, so they're here. Made point of saying hey to me, and I said I'll tell Drew and Jeff that Custer, South Dakota is here at Coors Field. Guys?
Yeah, big shout out to Custer, South Dakota. I don't know how many folks live in Custer. I can't imagine too many, but thanks for making it down. Thanks for watching when you're back home. Blake Hawksworth on for the 18th time this year. Power arm. Fastball up to 96, 97 miles an hour. Tulowitzki will lead off.
Yeah. Big guy, 6'3", over 200 pounds. Came over the trade this offseason for Ryan Theriot.
Just recently came off the disabled list.
Like a lot of guys coming out of that bullpen. Fastball, changeup.
Tulowitzki 0 for 2. Rockies have only 4 hits. Giambi a single, Wigginton a home run, Nelson a double, and Charlie Blackmon a single.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys though in that dugout saying, I'm glad Ted Lilly's out of the ball game. So what if he throws 93 to 95?
2-1. Hawksworth missed a month with a groin strain. And a high fly ball to right field. Ty Wigginton.
Check out the new Camarena loft located in center field. That's available for groups of up to 63. Call 303 Rockies for more information. Beautiful sunset.
And Wigginton, another opportunity for Ethier. 2 outs. Chris Nelson's turn, a double and a fly ball to left field for Nelson. Nelson has 15 at-bats already this year against LA since his call-up, and he's got 8 hits.
I remember last year in 2010, he had 280 in his call-up.
He did a very good job. You can tell Jim Tracy likes what he sees. Been playing him every day of late at second base. Drafted as a shortstop. Played a lot of third in the minor leagues also. Who Wants Tacos fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7+, here's how you do it. Text the keyword taco to 720-720. Ground to second, a 1-2-3 inning for Hawksworth. 6 innings completed Coors Field. The Dodgers have 4 and the Rockies have 1. Look back. Rockies got the first run of the ball game, second inning. Ty Wigginton against Ted Lilly, his second home run against Lilly this year. Unfortunately, that's all the Rockies have done against Lilly. Got 2 runs off in 7 innings in LA, just 1 run tonight. And in a 1-1 ball game, Casey Blake pinch hitting with the bases loaded, and he rips a double down the left field line against Matt Reynolds, and all 3 Dodgers would score. Blake was out trying to stretch it to a triple. It's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address, South Broadway in Littleton. Double switch. Johnny Herrera comes in. Chris Nelson checks out. As Jim Tracy wants to get multiple innings out of Clayton Mortensen.
This will be Clayton's first appearance since his last start down in San Diego when he threw 6 innings in that ball game, 5 hits, 0 runs. With the emergence of Nicasio, Clayton Mortensen slid back to the bullpen, but he's been out there before. When he first got called up, he debuted in long relief against the Giants, pitching 6 shutout innings in that ball game.
He'll face Matt Kemp initially, then James Loney and Rod Barajas, trying to keep it a 3-run game. Give the Rockies offense a chance. Kemp a strikeout, a walk, and a run-scoring double. That tied up the ball game in the 5th inning. He hit it off the auxiliary scoreboard and right, the hand-operated scoreboard. 0-2 on Kemp. Kemp been perfect against Mortensen, 2 for 2 and a home run.
Kemp's upped his average, came into the ball game hitting .332, now at .333. Not sure how Joey Votto did today, but going into today's ball game, Votto was hitting .333, so that tie him with second in the National League, only trailing Jose Reyes.
Reyes having a big year. He's having a big year for the Mets. And you know the Mets are hanging around 500.
Yeah, now it's a question for the Mets. Do you trade him, try to sign him long term?
Well, if you're going to trade somebody, to me, you trade of your big, big salary guys. Beltran still making a ton of money. David Wright, but David Wright's tough to move right now. He's on the DL with a back issue. I don't think New Yorkers would be pleased if Jose Reyes is traded. That skips under the glove of Wigginton, and Matt Kemp reaches. That second hop had a lot of topspin.
Got the glove behind the head a little bit. Yeah, you're right, Drew. It did have a lot of topspin. You take the drop step, but the glove in relation to where the eyes were. Gloves looking out, or the eyes are looking out front, the gloves behind the head.
No ruling yet. James Loney at the plate, 0 for 3. And now it is an error on Ty Wigginton, his 4th. Rockets made 2 errors in the ball game.
Came into the game tonight 4th in the National League in fielding percentage. Philly was number 1. Dodgers were number 2.
The Dodgers have been sound defensively.
Dougie just let me know Joey Votto today 3 for 5 to raise his average to .339. Jose Reyes 2 for 5 to go to .341.
Well, that's how you hit .340. Throw out a couple hits every night, huh?
Pretty easy
for those guys.
Yeah.
Votto, the defending National League most valuable player. Kemp dives back in. He's got 14 stolen bases.
He's only been caught 3 times.
But again, with that hamstring injury, it would be a surprise if he took off.
Why risk it?
Loney, a terrific high school pitcher in the Houston area. A lot of professional teams who are interested in drafting him as a pitcher.
It looked like he was leaning, thinking about trying to steal a base.
pickup by Giambi.
Almost acted like a hockey goalie, making sure that that ball did not get by him. Decent sized lead at first base for Matt Kemp.
Coming up in the post-game show, more Toyota talk. Text your thoughts and comments to 720-720. Keyword Toyota. Base hit. It's 11 hits for the Dodgers. 2 on, nobody out. Rod Barajas coming up. Down on the farm. Let's check out how Rockies minor league teams are doing. They won 6-4 at Colorado Springs yesterday. Ian Stewart was 0 for 3 and a walk, did score a run. 326 average. He's hit 10 home runs down in Colorado Springs, trying to get well. Willeen Rosario was 3 for 6 yesterday. Tim Wheeler tonight has hit his 17th home run. He's having a big year for Tulsa. Dan Houston's going to be a Cal League All-Star. He's had a terrific season. Shutout baseball for 8 2/3. And Asheville's Edward Cabrera, those 103 strikeouts lead all of minor league baseball. Wide turn by Matt Kemp at third.
That was real close to interference with Tim Wallach over at third base. And Matt Kemp running into him. Well, first the bunt. Chris Iannetta calls for it. Pushes the ball down into the ground like you're supposed to with a bunt. And then watch Matt Kemp coming around third. Tim Wallach's telling him where the throw is.
If he touches him,
he's out. That's why at first looking at it when it happened live, I thought he did run into him. But he was able to jump back at the last moment.
You know, his instincts were to help up his player. That wouldn't have worked out well. Infield in, Miles at the plate, and it's a strike. Aaron Miles 11 for his last 20 at the plate. 2 for 2 and a walk tonight. Former Rocky, former Cardinal, former Cub. Antioch, California, Northern California. His hometown. That misses 1-1.
With all the injuries to Furcal and Casey Blake and you name it, they've had it. They've relied a lot. We talked about Jamie Carroll already, but Aaron Miles as well.
Don Mattingly told D. Gordon, listen, wherever and whatever Aaron Miles and Jamie Carroll, wherever they go, whatever they do, you just follow them.
Listen to them. They've hung around a long time for a reason. Act like a sponge. Try to learn from what the experience that they've had at this level. Soak it all in.
And there's Gordon. Looks like he's got a 3-day growth going, Huey.
I was thinking maybe 4.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Or maybe 23 years. Off the plate. Yankees beat Cleveland. All of a sudden, Cleveland can't win. And a fabulous start.
Hey,
Boston has gone the other direction after a tough start.
Did you see for Toronto, Mike McCoy, former Rockies?
He had to pitch.
Yeah, he pitched. Perfect 9th inning.
He went to the rest of the guys. Now, what was the problem?
I got my 3 guys out.
Oakland came from behind to win yesterday, not tonight. With the new manager, Bob Melvin, fouled off. Reds beat up Tim Lincecum today, and the Giants 10-2.
Leak with the win.
Phillies beat the Cubs 7-1.
Was that Cliff Lee today?
I think it was. Yeah. So Lee improves to 6-5. Milwaukee beat the Cardinals. Padres are coming here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Miles hits it to deep right field, and it's over the head of Young. That'll score 2. Aaron Miles with a double, and it's 6-1 LA. Miles 3 for 3 tonight. 12 for his last 21 at the plate. That's a professional at bat right there. He finally got something he could drop the bat head on.
On top of that, 17 RBIs now on the season. Everything was away. Finally got enough of the plate. Miles drove it over the head of Eric Young Jr. in right field. Sixth double on the season for Miles.
Tony Gwynn, a bunt single in the 6th inning to load up the bases and set the stage for Casey Blake's 3-run double. It was a 1-1 game. 1-1.
You wonder what Don Mattingly would have done if he was not able to get that bunt down, or maybe guys at second and third and 1 out. Would he have left Ted Lilly in the ball game, or go ahead and use Casey Blake there?
Tough hop. Handled by Herrera. 2 outs as Miles crosses to third.
Well, Lilly only had 86 pitches. That's why I asked that question.
I think he was going to play the Blake card.
Straight up.
Yeah. Marcus Thames is going to be the for Blake Hawksworth.
And fans, if you want to follow the Rockies, you can do that with MLB.com at bat. 11 app features highlights and more. Text at bat to 31826.
That's been a quiet night at Coors Field. The place was raucous last night with the Rockies scoring 6 runs on 17 hits, and quite honestly, they could have scored a few more. Fortunately, they had 6 because the Dodgers rallied for 5 in the 9th. Rockies are going to have to put a big-time rally together of their own in the latter third of this game. Timms takes strike 1. The word on Jason Hamill, lower back stiffness. Lower back stiffness as to why he was removed. I think you'd prefer that report, that's a strike also, to something having to do with the shoulder or the
elbow.
arm.
Sometimes those things clear up quickly. It could be a day thing. You don't even miss any of your side work. Couple home runs for Marcus as a pinch hitter. There's 15 pinch hits. Currently lead, or at bats, excuse me, lead the Dodgers.
Outside 1 and 2 on Timms. Timms with plenty of pop. He hit some home runs in his Tiger days. Last year he was with the Yankees. Look out. Aaron Miles still able to get up, huh? Tim's had 25 home runs back in 2008, 26 in 06.
He was in foul territory. Picked those feet up.
Tim's has 4 seasons of 20+ home runs. And he's always done it as a platoon player. He's never been an everyday guy. His career high in at bats was 348. That was the year he had 26 home runs. Powerful guy. 3-2. Last year with the Yankees, he had 12 home runs.
He averages a home run once almost every 15.5 at bats, 15.5 at bats.
Got a World Series ring with the 06 Tigers. And he's got himself an RBI here. 7-1 LA. Rockies just can't stop the bleeding. 3 in the 6th, 3 more here in the 7th. And the pinch hitters for Don Mattingly have 4 RBIs. Casey Blake and that man Marcus Thames.
2 for 2, and that average as a pinch hitter for the Dodgers is going to go up with the 2 hits tonight.
That's an area so far this year the Rockies have not excelled in. They have struggled in the pinch. D. Gordon at the plate. Ground ball to second. Three runs for the Dodgers in the 7th. They lead at 7-1. To 4. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Josh Lindblom is the 3rd pitcher utilized tonight by the Dodgers. Don Mattingly. It'll be his 5th appearance since being called to the big leagues.
Straight out of Double-A. Dodgers Double-A club is in Chattanooga. The Chattanooga Lookouts. Been there for a while. I think Tommy Runnels managed in Chattanooga, if I remember correctly.
Did you play in the Southern League?
Yes, I did.
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville Expos. Now It used to be called the Suns, the Expos. We would play the Lookouts.
Good ballpark in Chattanooga?
Yeah, it was. It was fun. With the brick wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Charlie Blackmon will lead off against Lindblom. Chris Iannetta and then Johnny Herrera.
Dougie reminded me the Lookout hats are pretty nice looking.
If you like collecting baseball hats, you got to go online for minor league hats. There's some great ones. And you know what? They'll become conversation pieces because you'll wear it. People will say, now, what team is that? $34,290 in the house this evening. Ball and a strike on Blackmon. He singled his last time up and stole a base on Ted Lilly. Got picked off to beat the throw from James Loney. And this ball is lined to left field. Nearly misjudged by Gwynn. He may have had some light issues.
Well, it started out below the bank of lights over the first base, and then it's kind of continued to rise. Gwynn had to reach up at the last moment. You see him pointing and saying, well, I couldn't see it. I lost it in the lights for a second. The Ultimo shows a catch by Gwynn. That's kind of a helpless feeling as an outfielder when that happens. You're like, please come out soon so I can pick this up.
One strike pitch to Chris Iannetta. And that's a strike. Iannetta 0 for 1 and a walk. He struck out back in the second inning. Ted Lilly baffled the Rockies again tonight. He's on the plus side. Jason Hamill has the hook. 7-1 LA. Rockies have won all 4 ball games this year at Coors Field against the Dodgers.
Yeah, last year the Dodgers here at Coors Field were 6-3 against the Rockies.
Through the years, they've had more than their fair share of success in Denver. Three and 2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. And Chris Iannetta displeased with DJ Rayburn.
That's the most I've seen Chris bark at an umpire. He had a right to be. That ball was off the plate. It's not where Barajas brought it back to.
First AB for Herrera. Johnny said played a unique role this year. First week of the season didn't play much at all. Jose Lopez getting starts at second, and Johnny took over when Lopez slumped, and Johnny did a great job. Lately he's had to watch with Chris Nelson playing second base. Before that it was Eric Young getting a few reps at second base, but he keeps his head up. He's always ready to go. He's always got a smile on his face. He flies out. The Rockies have now had 8 straight retired. We'll go to the 8th inning. 7-1 LA. Inning of work. Jamie Carroll's been a pain in the neck today. He's at the plate. He tripled his last time up. He also has walked and singled, 2 for 3. Dodgers got 3 runs against Mortensen last inning.
Just one of them was
just one was earned
because of the leadoff error at third base by Ty Wigginton off the bat of Matt Kemp.
Breaking ball, strike 2, 1-2. How about a 3-hit day for Jamie Carroll?
This is almost a carbon copy of his base hit back in the 5th inning with just a line drive right back up the middle.
Got to show you Jamie Carroll. This is how you play the game. Watch how hard he makes a turn. It's a double until they field it into a single. You know, some guys talk about that. They learn it at an early age, and then
it goes out the window.
Yeah.
Not Jamie.
Cruise past first and assume that they're going to throw it in. He's assuming it's going to be bobble, and then he's at second base. Ethier tops this one foul.
And another teaching point for that.
Nice play, Mark.
Hey, Mark. And you don't even have the red glove, do you, Mark? No glove? You had it yesterday.
You're already feeling better than Huey is in that spot.
Hey, I get out of the way.
I was aided by a couple of caroms, so.
Doesn't matter, but you had the glove yesterday at the Boys and Girls Club clinic.
I did. I had it at the Boys and Girls Clinic. Johnny Herrera used it with you, Huey.
Yes.
And I got Herrera to autograph it yesterday because I figured a big leaguer used my glove. I'm going to get his autograph.
You know what I thought you did?
What?
I thought you stole Jose Mesa's old Phillies
right.
glove. Swung on and missed. That's not an Andre Ethier swing there. And he's gone.
I had to have it happen, guys.
Well, good for you.
That has worn a lot of criticism, but it also makes a lot of catches in softball leagues in Westminster.
So Matt Kemp will come up with Carroll at first and 1 out.
I want to go back to that Jamie Carroll play for a minute to finish my thought there. That a teaching point for kids going around first base, that the ball's in left field, the further it is away from you, the bigger your turn can be at first. If it's closer to the line or to right field, it has to be a little bit shorter.
To third, Wigginton. 5-4-3 on the turn. Carroll going in hard to Johnny Herrera. Johnny helping him up. Clean baseball. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies down by 6 runs. Lilly gave up just 1 run in 5 innings. That Casey Blake pinch hit for him with the bases loaded, and he ripped a 3-run double. And ever since then, the Rockies have been looking up at the Dodgers. Wigginton has provided the Rockies with their 1 run, a home run in the 2nd inning, his 2nd home run this year against Ted Lilly. That's it. Scott Elbert is aboard now in the 8th inning. Top of the Rockies lineup. Carlos Gonzalez 0 for 2 and an intentional walk. Hard throwing lefty Scott Elbert on the outside corner for a strike.
Don Mattingly not wasting anything on this game. He's throwing Scott Elbert out there, not taking any chances.
Two-strike count. Rockies have not had a base runner since Cargo was intentionally walked to load the bases in the 5th inning. There was 1 out, but Young hit a shallow fly ball to right. Blackman couldn't score on it, and then Giambi hit a fly ball to center field on the very next pitch.
And it's really where the ball game turned, because the Rockies weren't able to score there. And then in the 6th inning, what did the Dodgers do? They go out there and they throw a 3-spot to take the lead 4-1.
Yeah, Hamill walked the first 2 guys on 8 pitches and then was removed. He was having some lower back issues, some stiffness. And this ball lathered to center field, and it's over the head of Matt Kemp. He misjudged it. That thing was hit so hard. Kemp kind of came in a step, then went to his right, and you and I are right behind it, and we've seen him hit balls like that.
Well, Matt Kemp shouldn't feel bad, because this has happened to a few other outfielders in center field when Carlos Gonzalez hits the ball like this. It has the backspin on it. Starts off like a really like a low drive in golf, where the ball just keeps exploding and going higher and higher and higher. And that's what it did to Matt Kemp. He comes in over the head. He just go pick it up, throw it, toss it back in, keep Carlos at 2nd.
Yeah, Cargo safe at 2nd, safe and secure. New York Life, a lead double for Gonzalez. He's 11th of the year. Eric Young Jr. 0 for 3 at the plate. EY ground ball to 2nd, ground ball to 3rd, and that shallow fly ball to Ethier. Well, it's good to see Cargo left on left against a tough lefty in Elbert.
We got a base hit the other night off of Elbert to drive in a run.
This is back up the middle, and oh wow, redirected to D. Gordon. He plucked it out of the air, and that saved a run, hopefully just temporarily. Base hit for EY.
And the kid D. Gordon being in the right spot at the right time. That took an RBI away from Eric Young Jr. Ball back up the middle. Jamie dives, is off the glove. D. Gordon coming over.
Now, if you have a slower runner, there's no way he's going to get Eric Young. If you have a slower runner, you're talking about a highlight that's going to be the highlight of all highlights tonight.
Well, but then the other thing, too, is Richie Dower holding Carlos Gonzalez up at 3rd to say, stay close to the bag, because I've seen shortstops grab the ball, do a wheel thing where they fake the throw to 1st, wheel and throw to 3rd, and get that guy rounding 3rd base.
Giambi, 1 for 3. Single back in the 1st inning.
This is going to be Elbert's last hitter. Another thing, Matt Guerrero is throwing up out in the bullpen for the Dodgers. He's been tossing now for a little bit.
Can they have 4 late inning guys that are on the disabled list? And it begins with Jonathan Broxton and Hung Chi Kuo. Vicente Padilla also in that group.
Matt Lindstrom up in the Rockies bullpen. Rockies tonight just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Rockies last night in the 5th inning had 6 straight hits and scoring 5 runs.
Well, Scott Elbert was part of that meltdown a couple nights ago in the Dodgers bullpen. Just a third of an inning, couple runs, gave up a hit.
And it's 3-0. Tulowitzki on deck. And the reason I point out last night's 5th inning, when you're down by 6, you're not looking to hit a ball over the wall. You're looking to put together a bunch of hits, because that's the way you get back in.
Yeah, you put the pressure back on the other team, get them back on their heels a little bit.
Ball 4, and they're loaded up with nobody out for Troy Tulowitzki. And now you understand why Don Mattingly wasn't inserting anybody in a mop-up role. He was going with his A guys. Elbert's one of his A guys, but the Rockies, with a couple of hits and now a walk, have loaded it up against Elbert. Crowd believes.
Troy hitting .429 with the bases loaded. Here comes Don Mattingly. I was waiting to see how long it was going to take him. He was just buying a few more pitches for Matt out in the bullpen.
Matt Guerrero, former setup man and a good one for Joe Nathan in Minnesota. Good jog in from the Dodgers bullpen. Off goes Elbert. Rockies smelling an opportunity here in the 8th. Many for the Rockies out in the field. In the 8th inning, after a lead single by Carroll, a strikeout of Andre Ethier, and then a double play ground ball as Matt Kemp spikes the bat. 5-4-3 on the turn. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Matt Guerrero is on, 32nd appearance already. That's a bunch for Guerrero. And Tulowitzki's up there, bases loaded, nobody out. Troy 7 for his last 15 with runners in scoring position. It's 7-1 LA. And that catches the outside corner. Tulo tonight fouled out to third, caught looking on a 3-2 borderline pitch, his first strikeout in a week. And a fly ball to right field. Todd Helton will just come out, because 2 doors down is the pitcher's spot after a double switch 2 innings ago. Helton and Smith from the left side available.
And Smith is available. He came out of last night's ball game after fouling the ball off his top of his foot. He had a little bit of swelling into the ankle joint. Talked to him today before the ball game. Said he's fine. He can go. If Jim Tracy needs him in the pinch hitting role, go play a couple innings out in the field, whatever he needs. With no left-handers left out in the bullpen, it sets up perfectly for Jim.
It's blocked by Barajas, 2-1. Cargo doubled. He's now at third. Eric Young singled. Wise at second. And over at first, Jason Giambi, who walked on 4 pitches. Giambi's reached a couple times tonight. Rockies trying to hunt a little Lodo magic. Base hit past the diving Gordon. Here comes EY to the plate. It is 7-3. Troy Tulowitzki coming through.
Sounded like he grunted all the way from up here. Wondering if the quickness of Deke Gordon was going to get this ball on the dive. Slider that's just flat, a little above the belt. He turned on it, smoked it into left field.
Ty Wigginton at the plate. It is 7-3. Nobody out. A strike on Wigginton. And Seth Smith is out in the on-deck circle. Mr. Late Night. Swinging a piece of iron.
Get a little bit loose, but he's been down in the tunnel. Taking some balls, I'm sure, off the tee or the pitching machine that's just up the ramp behind the Rockies dugout.
Wigginton, a home run, 1 for 3. Belted a ball deep into the night in left center field in the 2nd inning. This ball's popped up center field. That's the first out of the inning. And here comes Seth Smith. So Seth Smith, who thrives in these situations. This is how he made a name for himself in the Rocky Mountain region when he came up in 07. In that wild run to the World Series for the Rockies.
That really propelled him to where he's at now in the big leagues. Put his name on the map. 2 for 5 as a pinch hitter.
He's 40 for his last 120 as a pinch hitter, actually in his career. A 333 average, 21 extra base hits, 33 RBIs. Smith drives it high and deep, but foul. That thing was headed to the Mountain Ranch Club.
That's what you're looking for as a pinch hitter. When you come off that bench, first real good fastball I see, and that was just a flat one.
Called a strike, and now Smith staring down DJ Rayburn. He thought it was away. Colorado Lottery replay again. The last chance drawings on June 12th. Smith yesterday, a 2-run base hit.
No wonder he was barking at DJ Rayburn.
Yeah, it's way off the plate.
I can understand if it caught the corner a little bit, part of the baseball on there.
And this is poked to center field, and it gets down, and then gets past Kemp. That'll allow Giambi to score. Tulowitzki, he'll get a green light. He'll score easily. Smith to third. Here come the Rockies. Matt Kemp has had a rough inning in center field.
Well, it started with that ball off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez, the first ball of this inning. And now with the bloop single by Seth Smith. And then it gets by for the 4th error of the season off Kemp. Just throw your bat at it, protect. And that's what Seth Smith did. Matt Kemp tried to block it, dropped his head. They're saying that Giambi would not have scored, so they ruled it a single E8 and a no RBI.
Yeah, there's no way he would have scored.
No.
That was a huge miscue. And now the tying run at the plate, and Charlie Blackmon. Just a 7-5 ball game with 1 out. It was an enormous miscue because Giambi doesn't run well. He had to freeze to make sure Kemp didn't make the catch. He was just jogging to third. So then he's allowed to come home. Obviously, Tulowitzki scores all the way from first, and now with 1 out, you have a runner at third, and a base hit for Blackmon. It is 7-6. Welcome to the show, Charlie Blackmon. That is his first real clutch hit in his young career, and his first RBI.
And what a better time to get it, late in the ball game. This crowd rocking here at Coors Field now. A beautiful swing from Charlie Blackmon. Crowd obviously excited.
And now the whole complexion of this thing changes. The Rockies, as we said, you got a bunch of hits, right? Pardon the two bunches in that sentence. It's now 7-6. You have a speed guy at first. Matt Kemp can hardly look. 1 out, Iannetta at the plate.
And you still have your guys in your bullpen that you want to use, a Matt Lindstrom, a Rafael Betancourt, Houston Street, where the Dodgers have tried to use everybody already to get these last 6 outs.
Great job of hitting by Smith also. You showed and described he just poked it to center field. It should have been a 1-1 pitch. It was an 0-2 pitch. He went into 2-strike mode.
Protect.
And boy, did he ever protect.
You know what he said is, I'm not going to put this in the hands of the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn. I'm going to protect. He called one out there before. Let me just see if I can throw it out there for a hit, and he did.
Ball 1 on Iannetta, who leads all National League catchers in home runs with 8.
But the other good thing about Charlie being at first base, good speed. So if it's a gapper, you can score him all the way from first base.
Rare checks him out. 1-0. The inning began with the Dodgers ahead 7-1. Cargo got it going with a loud double to center field. First 2-hit ball game of Blackmon's career also.
It's funny how momentum changes and shifts and the ebb and flow of a baseball game. You're sitting down 7-1 as you head into the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm sure the Dodgers thinking, but this is, I like our chances.
Here's the 1-0. A flinch and a strike on Iannetta. Two and 1. Johnny Herrera's on deck. And then you flip back to the top of the order in Cargo. 1 out, Blackmon at first. Rockies within a run. He went. First base umpire Marvin Hudson, I agree with him.
And Chris tried to hold up. Where'd the barrel go? The overhead shot will give us a better look.
It was close, but I think he broke that line. 2-2.
Guerrero throws a lot of sliders. If he buries one, you have to read it at first base. See if it kicks away from the catcher.
You send him here?
Not here. Barajas 7 for 39, throwing out runners.
Not going up the middle. Gordon, he got the out. What a play. What a play by D. Gordon. That's why he's in the big leagues. Unbelievable speed. I don't know how many shortstops get to that baseball.
Saying that was a hit off the bat of Chris Iannetta. D. Gordon seemingly out of nowhere dives for this. Look at the range, and then being able to get it out of his glove and get a speedy runner like Charlie Blackmon, who's going down to second base. Jamie Carroll looking and gets the feed.
That may have been the more impressive thing, that he was able to get it out of his glove. Herrera takes ball 1. Johnny trying to reach and allow Gonzalez to hit here in the 8th. Two and out.
Well, the kid's made some plays out at shortstop. We saw a line drive he jumped up and caught last night.
That was straight speed.
That was
just straight speed. It's not like, you know, he was leaning in that direction. He just saw it and he went and got it.
Or the runner was going, so he was starting to cover second base to help the range that way.
No, that was all, I'm young and I'm really, really fast.
That's another good point. You dive, you never know what's going to happen.
Roll up on the ball. Johnny with a defensive swing. Don't usually see Johnny with that kind of hack, so he'll back out and think about it. 2-2. That pitch was in the dirt. He's trying to pass the baton to his very close childhood friend Carlos Gonzalez. Iannetta at first.
These at-bats are a little bit easier for Jonathan Herrera. He hasn't had many at-bats lately, but for a guy that chokes up on the bat trying to put the ball in play, it's easier than a big guy. One of those guys is coming off the bench that has a big, long swing that hasn't played a lot.
You can look.
That's okay.
3-2. So Iannetta will be in motion.
Well, he shouldn't look now because he didn't look just that last pitch, and it was a ball.
And it worked out.
It was okay.
Just tell me what happens.
Might just go from the roar of the crowd. And he says, I have to look.
Don Mattingly, he'd like to take his hat and put it over his eyes right now. 5 runs here in the 8th inning for Colorado. Swung on and missed. And the Dodgers finally get out of the inning. But the Rockies have changed this whole thing around. They're within a run as we go to the 9th. Troy Tulowitzki, a huge 2-run hit. And then Seth Smith with a hit and a little help from Matt Kemp. Charlie Blackmon with an RBI single. bottom of the 8th inning, and I know Tom Helmer, that made you have to scramble with all that you had lined up for your post-game tease.
We tweaked it a little bit. Now stay tuned for the late show. This one far from over. We'll have the results of this game in the game summary. We'll also get an update on Jason Hamill, who left the ball game with stiffness in his lower back. And as always, we'll get you down to the clubhouse, hear from Jim Tracy and the rest of the Rockies on this ball game, which we hope will have a happy ending. Drew.
All right, Tom, we go to the 9th inning, and Matt Lindstrom will face James Loney, Rod Barajas, and Aaron Miles. And looking ahead to the Rockies' bottom of the 9th, it'll be the top of the order. Cargo, Eric Young, Jason Giambi.
Well, and kind of depending on what happens in that top half of the inning, you might see Todd Helton hit for Eric Young Jr. if it's not a bunt situation.
Or you may hold them back depending on how it goes, because the 6 hole is where the pitcher's spot is. Now, D. Gordon had a great play. Matt Kemp did not defensively last inning. But Matt Kemp has driven in a whole lot more than he's allowed to score defensively. Kemp's a former Gold Glove center fielder. 1-0 on Loney. And that's a base hit. Second hit of the night for Loney. Root Sports Red Alerts will keep you updated about the latest Rockies happenings this season. Text the word alerts to 720-720 to get Rockies updates straight to your phone. One man's explaining to Mom, see, next inning the Rockies have the top of the order. All that has to happen here, Lindstrom needs a quiet inning, keep it a 1-run ball game, and then we're going to rally in the bottom half of the inning.
And that's what Matt's done, scoreless 9 out of his last 10 ball games. So he's got that part down and said, okay, we'll get those couple runs, have a walk-off.
That's a fair ball. Rod Barajas whips it down the line, and he kicks away from Blackman, and Wallach is going to send Loney, and the throw to the plate is not in time. And now the Dodgers lead it 8-6. Boy, they have counterpunched quickly, haven't they? Barajas, who've been watching this series, Deoner Navarro has been the starter behind the plate. Barajas, a single, a walk, a sac bunt, now an RBI double.
He pulled those hands in. It missed its location by about 1.5 feet. He scalded it past Ty Wigington. This is where the unfortunate bounce occurred, because Charlie Blackman had gone over to that corner, was going to play it off the wall just fine, but then it did a 90-degree to the right. He had to retrace his steps. Tim Wallach waving James Loney the whole way once he saw the ball where it kicked.
Now, Lindstrom's really going to have to pitch to keep it a 2-run game. You have Miles up there who's had a big night. 3 for 3 and a walk. Barajas at second with nobody out. Look at Miles. That's his 4th hit of the night. Barajas stops at 3rd. Former Rocky Aaron Miles, 4 for 4 and a walk.
Really only the one he hit over the head of Eric Jr. out in right field. The rest of them just been of the punch variety. Not trying to overpower the ball, just see ball, hit ball. You just kind of feel a little bit of the air go out of the stadium.
And Matt Kemp allowed the ball to go behind him. a couple of runs score. He's seen his teammates pick him up here. Barajas at third, Miles at first. Nobody out. Infield's come in halfway.
Well,
you could do that because Barajas doesn't run well. You don't have to come all the way in. Pitch misses to Gwynn.
This just really puts a lot of pressure on the decision making of the infielders. How was the ball hit? What are you going to do with it? You check the runner, then get the lead guy at second base, and then look home again.
Now you can come home with it. You got to come quick. You waited way too long. That was not handled right by Johnny Herrera. He didn't get anybody. Barajas had broken. He didn't. I mean, he didn't bluff at all. Take us through that from a second baseman standpoint.
Well, if he breaks like that, you're already down by 2 runs. You have to go home. You have to get the guy at home. Throw it right there. Don't think about tagging him. By that time, he was late all the way around.
It's a fielder's choice and an RBI for Gwynn. And it's a 3-run Dodger lead. Boy, this has been an awful inning. Loney bounced one up the middle. Barajas ripped one down the line. Miles punched one to center, and then the Rockies should have had Barajas at the plate. Trent Olson's going to be the pinch hitter.
Well, you get Barajas at the plate. You still have first and second, 1 out. You're only down by 2 runs. Instead, you're down by 3.
You know what's going to happen here? Ground ball, and you're saying to yourself, okay, that would have gotten you out of the inning.
We would have been out of the inning.
Bunt by Olson. It shows you how much respect Don Mattingly has for the Rockies offense in this ballpark.
Well, and where he is in the Rockies lineup, going to the top of the order. Maybe if it's at the bottom, who knows how we would play, but definitely with the top coming up, try to add as many runs as you can.
So D. Gordon.
Now with a guy that's as hard a thrower as Lindstrom, D. Gordon has been overmatched with that fastball. You might see a squeeze. And a straight out squeeze, not a safety squeeze. And if it's going to happen, 1-0 is a good count to run a squeeze.
Tim Wallach just whispered something to Aaron Miles. Didn't mean anything, but swung on and missed. 1-1.
That's why I said possible squeeze, because anything over about 92 miles an hour to D. Gordon, he's been tardy on it.
Is there a return sign from the hitter at the big league level everywhere you played, or no?
You better get it.
Sliced foul.
You know, sometimes in the minor leagues or even in high school, college, the guys will take their hand and adjust their helmet.
Too obvious at this level.
Yeah, or look back at the umpire or whatever their return sign is. You can't do it here. Too many eyes are looking at you.
Just don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Pulled to first. Giambi comes home. And now they have Miles hung up.
All the way back. Just run back.
2 outs. Nice throw by Giambi. It's a fielder's choice, 3-2 on the putout. Gwynn to third. And Jamie Carroll up. Rockies had 17 hits yesterday. They've allowed the Dodgers to produce 17 hits today. Carroll's got 3 of them. Miles has 4 of them. Those two making their first starts of the series here in game 3. You can't, in this situation, I don't think you can throw through. It's one of these times you just don't throw through, do you?
No, you fake it.
Speed.
Yeah, you fake and look to third.
Wynn flies at third. D. Gordon
might also
flies
be
at first.
Chance to go third to first move, see if you get it.
Strike on Carroll at 96. 2 runs in the inning here for the Dodgers after the Rockies had taken all the momentum back. They'd gotten it to 7-6 with a 5-run 8th. There goes Gordon, and he'll get second base. Javi Guerra will have the 9th inning. They score that defensive indifference. I think you award a stolen base on that, don't you, Huey, in that situation?
Yeah,
because he's being held on.
He was being held on, and also where the pitch was, it was a slider, so that's why Chris elected not to throw down to second. You can't assume that he wouldn't have thrown.
Right. That should be a bag, not that it matters. Two and one on Carroll. Center field, and it's going to drop, and 2 runs are going to score. Carroll the second, safe there. So the 2 guys that did not start the first 2 games of the series, the 2 ex-Rockies, have combined for 8 hits. And it's a 5-run Dodger lead as Lindstrom has had a rough 9th inning. Jamie Carroll, a walk, a single, a triple, a single, and a 2-run single.
And once again, not much as far as what he's trying to do. Chokes up, punches it to center field. But you mentioned between Aaron Miles, Jamie Carroll, 8 hits. They have 4 RBIs on the evening.
It takes symmetry to win baseball games. You know, you have the days where the offense scores, but you got to pitch. And days when you pitch really well, you got to get something going offensively. And the Rockies haven't had enough of that, as we all know, in 2011. And the bullpen tonight letting them down. They've been very good by and large, but tonight, rough outing again for Matt Reynolds. Mortensen had some issues, and now Lindstrom in the 9th inning.
And the way the offense came alive in that 8th inning, you could shut if you shut the Dodgers down quickly.
You like the chances.
You had them right where you were, because their dauber would have been down. They'd say, "Oh, here we go again." This is kind of like a punch in the gut.
It's turned into a tease because the Rockies, with that enormous 5-run inning, and they're feeling great about themselves naturally. We've seen it so many times in this ballpark where you really like the Rockies' chances. Dodgers Pens had issues. Top of the order for the Rockies in a 1-run game. Now it's 11-6 LA. Uribe holding court with Casey Blake. The 18 hits for the Dodgers tonight, a season high. Lindstrom had given up only 4 runs all year long. 5 have scored against him here in the 9th. Not the inning the Rockies were looking for. Jamie Carroll has torched his old team. 11-6 LA. 5 tonight. He's given up 4 tonight in that 9th inning. But you get the point. It's 11-6 now, LA, after the Rockies had closed to 7-6. Well, it worked in the 8th inning, those rally caps. See if it works here in the 9th inning. Javi Guerra is on the hill for LA. Top of the order for the Rockies. 11th appearance for Guerra.
He does have that one major league save and 1 opportunities. 6 different pitchers have earned a save for LA this year already.
This not a save situation.
Nope.
Not with the big lead now for LA again.
Just talks about the troubles of their bullpen and how many guys they've had on the DL, as you mentioned earlier.
Cargo got last inning rolling with a line double over the head of Matt Kemp, who kind of misjudged the baseball. It was hit so hard. And a quality swing there. Ubaldo Jimenez tomorrow for the Rockies against a rookie, Ruby De La Rosa for LA. We saw De La Rosa in LA last week. He was working out of the bullpen.
And speaking of the Rockies, De La Rosa, he was in the locker room today.
He's been around this homestand. He's got the
Nice to see
arm
him.
all wrapped up. Had Tommy John surgery a few days ago. This ball in the gap in left center field. And it is one hot and go over the wall. So another double for Cargo. It worked last inning. A leadoff double. Let's see what transpires next.
Well, you never know. You keep taking your chances. You keep going up there to the plate. Putting good swings on, good things will happen. Now we're starting to see Carlos drive the ball to center field, drive the ball the other way.
A smaller leg kick there, too.
Yep, 2 hits tonight, had 4 last night. That average is climbing up. It's over 272 now. Second double on the evening for Carlos. Back-to-back innings.
Eric Young. Oh, man, that's turning into a double play. A line shot that Guerra somehow got leather on. 2 outs.
He's just fortunate he had the glove down low, because that ball was caught by the glove, and just pure self-defense.
So Giambi with 2 outs and nobody on. 1 for 3 and a walk. Run scored for Jason last inning. Shift is on. One ball and 2 strikes. Thought the stage was set, Huey, for the Rockies' first walk-off win of the year. They've now gone, if they don't pull off the miracle with 2 outs, 64 games into the season, no walk-off wins.
Compare that.
They've not won an extra inning game. They're the only team in baseball.
Compare that to the Giants, who I believe have 8.
Mind-boggling.
9 after last night.
Yeah, a walk-off win on the Nate Shearholtz hit last night. This is another base hit for Giambi. So he's had a productive evening, getting the start for Todd Helton. That'll allow Tulowitzki to swing the bat again. Troy a 2-run single last inning. Giants lost today again to review 10-2. Cincinnati beat up Tim Lincecum. Lincecum, since he threw 133 pitches in a complete game shutout, has given up a ton of runs his last 4 starts. Arizona held off Florida 9-5. Fouled back by Troy. Washington beat the Padres 2-1. So you're up to date inside the division.
The Padres will stay at 7.5 back. The Dodgers, provided they hang on, will pick up a game. Arizona will be 1 game behind San Francisco.
This is going to be a tough play for Gordon on the move. Not going to get Tulowitzki. A leg hit for Troy. And you already start to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game, which you can't really do. It's not fair.
But let's play it anyway.
You would have liked the Rockies' chances with in a 1-run game. Lead-off double by Cargo.
Well, even at that, though, you can go back to the play with Jonathan. If he comes home and gets Barajas.
Keeps it a 2-run game.
2-run game.
Wigginton, a home run and 4 trips tonight. 2 outs in the 9th, 11-6 LA. Rockies have won the first 2 games of this series. Like Wigginton was taken all the way, didn't it?
Why not? I mean, you got it.
Spilborg's out on deck.
A few more base runners. Some guys will go up there and say definitely not. I'm not going to take a strike fall behind. A Heath Bell, Brian Wilson. This young man is a rookie at the big league level.
Well, famously against Trevor Hoffman in game 163 in 07, Clint Hurdle instructed his guys, don't take a strike if you like the first offering. Swing the bat. There's a base hit for Wigginton. Giambi gets a green light. Kemp's going to throw it to third, and the Rockies have a run. It's 11-7 with Spilborg's coming up. Now, if you're Jim Tracy, all you hope for is to somehow, some way, get the tying run to the plate. When you're deficient by 5, enter in the inning. Good news. Rockies with 7 runs. You go to Taco Bell tomorrow for your Rockies Taco Special. Make sure you go between 4 and 6.
Kind of also go back to earlier in this inning with the line drive off of the bat of Eric Young Jr. that doubled up Carlos Gonzalez. If you want to play the woulda, shoulda, coulda game.
Yeah. I mean, Garrett hasn't fooled anybody.
No.
This one has not lacked for entertainment. Think back to the Rockies' first 6 innings of this ball game. They got nothing going really in 5 innings against Lilly other than the Wigginton home run. Hawksworth the 1-2-3-6, the 1-2-3-7 from Lindblom. Spilborg's with an 0-1 count. 4 for 19 off the bench this year.
Those 4 hits lead the Rockies.
Blackmon's on deck. It's 1-2. The 11 runs is the most allowed by the Rockies in a game this year. This
8 of them earned.
Yeah, this game's turned into a mini series. 1-2. The line score 7 runs, 13 hits for the Rockies, 2 errors, 11 runs, 18 hits, and an error for the Dodgers. 2-2 with 2 on. Tell you what, DJ Rayburn flinched. 3-2.
He flinched because this ball looked like it might go in and hit Ryan.
Caught the top of the Ford strike zone. 3-2. Ball 4, and the tying run will come up. The bases are loaded for Charlie Blackmon. Todd Helton, if you're wondering, has a bat. If Jim Tracy was going to play that card, you figure to play it right here because there's 2 outs. But Blackmon has held up nicely tonight. RBI single last inning. 2 for 4. One of the outs a line out. Bases loaded. It's 11-7. Blackmon drives it to left field. This one to the cat. Oh, man, Gwynn made the catch. Gwynn made the catch. That may have emptied the bases. If he doesn't catch that, it's going to the wall. It's going to be a 1-run game, and Blackmon's going to be at second or third. Oh, what a catch by Gwynn.
When this ball was hit, this is a base hit. He took a solid swing at it, but Gwynn, no fear, dives because you're right. If it gets by him, 3 runs are scoring. It's a 1-run game, and Blackmon is easily at third base.
Unbelievable. Well, this one didn't lack for entertainment. Unfortunately, the Rockies end up on the wrong end of it, 11-7. I'm still speechless. What a catch by Gwynn. Tonight's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Way back when it was a 1-1 game about 3 weeks ago. A pinch hit 3-run double off the bat of Casey Blake gave the Dodgers the lead, and they would never relinquish it. Well, the Rockies seriously threatened twice. Wow. Wild run. Dodgers win at 11-7. We invite you to stick around for the Toyota postgame show.